Hello and welcome back to Metro World. My name is Andre. Hopefully you're doing well. Today is 13th of May. It's my dad's birthday. Happy birthday, Papa. Tomorrow's my mother's birthday. I think they just made that up so it would be cute. And then no one would challenge them on that because that's ridiculous. It's also very convenient. It's very, very convenient, which is good. Hopefully everyone's doing well. Yo, Marc-Andre, how's it going? I don't want to brag, but Marc-Andre and two other friends last night, we got through Guardians of the Abyss on standard difficulty. Don't even pretend you're not impressed. Ixaron, how's it going? Giles, what up? Matchball fam, how you doing? Sandboy, how's it going? Hey, it's my birthday. Can I get a shout out? Of course you can. Are you my dad? Happy birthday. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream. Darkling, how's it going? You think you know which direction we're going, right? I imagine you do. It'll be fun. Yo, Yusengren, how's it going? I enjoyed your last video a fair bit. We're gonna be talking about it today. I want to play those decks. I do. I wonder how good Atman is. Jingles, how's it going? Andre, excited for today's stream? Yeah, we're gonna be playing some Lat today. He remembers what he named the stream, which is gonna be a problem because we have to start playing Shaper off the top. And generally I fall apart after playing a bit too much Shaper, so Kizra, was my birthday yesterday. I'm older than your dad. Happy belated, cat. Hope you had a good one. That's really cool to hear. Yo, May, it's popping off. It's like my brother-in-law's birthday in like a couple of days. It's it's a good month. I feel like Pat's birthday is sometime soon. I forget when Pat's birthday is. I'll figure it out. I played the corp a little. Turns out it doesn't work. Oh well, yeah, it's because you put ice wall in there. No, you cut the ice walls though. You put what's it called? A cat in there. Let's make some content on tuning decks. Let me make some content on tuning decks. Yes. Shape. Semiotics, what's up? I'm so excited about this deck of the week. Looks really cool. Oh man, I'm so super surprised there's no Chameleon in this list. I thought this would be like ripe for Chameleon. Frisbee, how's it going? Who are you playing in AHLCG? We're working our way through Dunwich. Yo, Frisbee. So we are playing 4 players. We have a regular group. We've been playing Arkham, the 4 of us, for I feel like 5 or 6 years at this point. Basically, however long Arkham was, we used to go. This is how it worked. For those who don't know, Arkham Horror LCG, it's a cooperative game made by Fantasy Flight Games. It's pretty great. But basically, we would go every, what was it, Tuesday, Monday, Wednesday? I forget what day of the week. I think it was Tuesdays. It's been so long. Where we used to go to the Randolph pub, and Randolph is a board game bar, and you could go there and there's people that will teach you how to play games. But we would just go there, get some food, get some drinks, and play Netrunner. And after Netrunner would wind down, generally a group of 4 of us who all played Netrunner together also just started playing Arkham, and that group just continued to play Arkham Horror until now. And now we're playing online on Tabletop Simulator. The Super Complete Edition mod is sick. And right now our group is Wasa, the guy who actually built the what's it called, the plugin, keyhole plugin. He's playing Father Mateo, a very bless heavy build using curses as well, like a curse bless heavy build. It's goofy. Our boy Eric is playing Stella. Stella's amazing. Marc-Andre is playing Ursula, and she's always really great. And I am playing, it's actually like a meme build that somebody posted on Arkham DB that I thought was going to work really, really well, specifically in Innsmouth, because we're in the middle of the Innsmouth campaign. And that is a Mark Harrigan build that is playing the Springfield, which is a gun so bad. Imagine this. So a thing with Arkham Horror, if you're not familiar, is that there is a list, kind of like the most wanted list, of cards that they'll make basically cost more influence or more experience is what they call in the game. But there's some cards that are so bad, they'll errata them to make them more playable or spend less experience. And so there's this like 2-handed sniper, it's a rifle, a Springfield rifle, that it's so bad that they made it cheaper to add into your deck. So I'm playing that with a telescopic sight and playing like an army sniper, and it's working out. It's actually really good in Innsmouth because you don't want to be engaged with those fish friends. It goofs you up real bad. Rip Andre's brain. Thanks so much. I have to watch it VOD later. I'm streaming right now. Enjoy your stream, Stan. Enjoy. It was Mondays? Was it Mondays? Yeah, maybe it was Mondays. No wonder I've been facing this woo so much. Vincent, maybe you can tell us a bit about how this woo works. Oh, excuse me. I think you play Brahmin, Mayfly, or Lizard, but it's hard to combine them, easier to build around one. So the idea of what this deck is, actually just hold on, because Frisbee says the Super Complete mod is amazing. We're still bad enough as that we don't use any taboo lists. Yeah, there's no pressure to follow their like taboo list, their version of the most wanted list. It's a cooperative game, so you can basically build whatever experience you want to build, so no big deal. I found the taboo list to be interesting though, because it pushed our group away from playing the same stuff over and over again. Because I feel like if you're playing Seeker, you're just going to play the Bug Doctor forever until someone tells you can't. Border control and R&D has been a necessity against this Dangwoo. Yeah, so this Dangwoo is on Hushik. Let's talk about this deck. Yo, Port Valley, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. So this is a Woo deck that deals with an interaction that has always been an interaction since we talked about Prognostic Q Loop, but I've never really seen it come into play. And the idea is with Prognostic Q Loop, you can reveal the top card of your stack. If it's a program or hardware, you install it. And in saving a click, and let alone 2 clicks, one to install it, one to draw it, and spending a credit instead, is really, really good. And the idea with this deck specifically, it uses a really strong AI breaker, specifically good at breaking mid-range ice. But one of the downsides of Brahmin is that when you use it, you have to take a program and put it on top of your stack. And the idea is that you can recover from that very quickly and have full information of your Prognostic Q Loop trigger if you've chosen a program to put that on top of your stack yourself. On top of that, it works really well with some of the other cards we have. We have Cyber Trooper Talut. That means our programs come in +2 strength, which is a huge amount of plus strength for the turn they come in. And again, they'll be continually coming back in. And on top of that, we have Oiler, which breaks code gates for free the turn it comes in. So that's a really good combination. And we have Gauss, which is, from my understanding, just better. It's going to be 4 or 6 strength when it comes in. So largely, we're just going to be paying credits for subroutines. On top of that, we have a lot of other programs that we can just bounce to the top of our deck if we really want to. Egret is technically always flexible, especially when we're making code gates for free. We have Cubon, which costs 0. It's not a virus as well, and that's kind of nice. Gives you money. Leech helps with Brahmin, I guess. And you have Mantle, which is nice. You can use the credit on this and then put it on top of your deck and then reinstall it. Or you can even use this credit to fire Prognostic Q Loop, which is nice. And I think that's largely what we have in the deck. We have 2 Prognostic Q Loops. We have 2 Simul Chips. We have a single Pantograph, which is cute because Shaper consoles don't get played. I'm excited at least to play this one. And 3 DZMZ optimizers are really important because we're going to be installing a lot of things specifically when it comes to Prognostic Q Loop as well. And this triggers the first time you install each turn. And with with Prognostic Q Loop, it's actually really important because it's one of the few cards in the game that consistently lets you install programs, or well, specifically programs for DZMZ on your opponent's turn. So DZMZ, you can get value on your turn and on the opponent's turn, and that's actually really cool. That's a really, really cool interaction. Now, how are we going to win? We have very little R&D pressure. We have very little multi-axis pressure. So it looks like this deck, what it wants to do is it wants to camp the remote to some extent. The idea is that they put something in the remote, we can go check it and hopefully check it pretty cheaply. We also set up really quickly because we're playing Cabanessa Wu, and Cabanessa Wu has the ability to pull out any program, which on its own can be useful, but you can also just pull out a self-modifying code, and then before it gets removed from the game, you can go ahead and overclock and then pull out something hopefully you install for very, very cheaply. On top of that, we do have Flameout, which is really interesting. If you're going to put a program on this, you can basically use that program for free and then bounce it with Brahmin so it doesn't get toasted, which is quite nice, let alone with self-modifying code on Flameout. You can use the 2 credits. The cost of self-modifying code, you can't use the Flameout credits for installing programs because that's technically not paying for self-modifying code. And then how we're going to win is checking the remote server. We do build up a turning wheel eventually, but then we have two Hushuks. I said single, but then I meant to say single 2 Hushuks. It doesn't make a lot of sense. But we have 2 Hushuks, which I imagine is pretty easy to trigger. 3 DZ, MZ's already 2. We have Rizekis on 2. I'm imagining there's other things on 2. Beth is 2. Yeah, that's nice. We also have DreamNet. We'll have 2 Link apparently. So that's cool. Let me catch up on chat. Sunday and Monday are usually the slowest days for the pub. Yeah, you're totally right. It was a Monday. Monday meant that the Netrunner wouldn't interfere with the regular target clientele. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Mondays. Solomir, how's it going? It's been so while, I totally forget. Sangren says, I love this deck with Haley. Yeah, Haley was really cool with Prognostic Q Loop because then you can install something on the corpse turn. And Haley says the first time a turn you install a card, install another card of the same type. So you got double installs, and that seems really, really good. The closest we have to that is Pantograph and Prognostic, so we'll build our own Haley. There's also value for all the 2 credits installed for Hushuk. Oh yeah, Diogene, how's it going? Yeah, totally. Also, Diogene, you talked about specifically the I think it was D&D DDMBBD's write-up about what's it called? About verbal plasticity. I disagree with it. We can talk about it later if you want. I'll probably hit you up on Slack. Or not Slack. Yeah, Slack. Zendorius, how's it going? I've been tweaking the Flameout Woo list I published back in the fall. I think there's a place for Flameout juggling. Yo, Flameout is like a really, really strong card, and we've been seeing this card get a lot of play since System Gateway came out. Like this with Mayfly has been incredibly powerful. Mayfly, mind you, is an AI, so it doesn't work with Cyber Trooper Telloot, but that engine is just interesting, and it's 7 credit econ card is something to not scoff at, especially on 2 again. That's another thing that works with the Hushuk. Yo, Pat, how's it going? Giles says, I feel like this is going to struggle versus PD. It could. The big thing that we struggle with, if you read the write-up, which I haven't fully read, is that early sentries are a problem because we don't actually have a sentry breaker. So we have to deal with Brahmin. So like a swordsman for this deck is like a very, very difficult thing to deal with. You have to generally like egret and then actually get a real breaker. Not that swordsman's that popular, but it's kind of hard for us to deal with like an early drafter or something like that. DZMZ for free installs. Chaos Chester, how's it going? Off of Prognostic seems clutch, but I think Mantle for free Prognostic is the key. Yeah, Mantle is really good. It lets you pay for the DZMZ, and that is quite something. I do think you bounce the Mantle sometimes, but the idea that that card can pay for the Prognostic is amazing. So you just spend a click to look at the top and install. And it's also worth noting that it's hardware or programs, and we are looking at like what 23. More than half of our deck is for hardware and programs, so we can just fire that. As a newer player, this deck makes my head hurt. Glad to see you walking through it. Frisbee, that is me walking through the plan. Now, me walking through a game is going to be a disaster, and I'll be the first to admit it. Anything like this is like very tricky to play, and I love this. And this is something we've seen so consistently of the runner decks from Gateway on, is almost all the runner decks, specifically the deck list of the week, have been really high skill cap and have a lot of player expression in the way that they play. Whether it's the Virus Max, which is continuing to be very powerful in the meta, whether it's that last Mayfly deck that we saw, whether it's this Cabanessa Wu deck, they're very hard to pilot and they take practice. And I think that's really cool. It really makes the skill level of the game very evident when you watch somebody play this beautifully. And I don't think I'm going to do that because I've never played it, and I'm playing this at the same time that I'm trying to talk to a lot of people. Oh, D&D. You're in chat. Yeah, no, it was a good write-up though. I don't agree with it, but yeah, I'm gonna goof it up, so we'll keep that in check. Yo, Schmendrick, glad to live for a minute before my Marvel Champions, or join live for a minute. Love your work. Yo, that's really kind. Enjoy your Marvel Champions. I guess what's his name is out? Chris Pratt, right? So we don't get to know why you disagree with verbal analysis. Okay, if you want to, we can talk about it later, but we get to do the deck list of the week. We can't go straight there. We're worried about that IP than swordsman. Oh yeah, IP block is an issue. That's true. I'm not too worried about wraparound, but IP block kind of like fell apart. You don't see it anywhere near as often as you used to, and I think a big reason for that is that Turtle is not that good right now with Cyberdeck Sandbox everywhere. Mantle is just Rizeki that costs 1 less install and can't save the credit though. Or Raketha, you added restream bot, and that generally is not going to work out. I think you're replying to someone. How's it going, Raketha? I like the ice cover, but it's a lot of influence. Yeah, the ice cover is a lot of influence. I imagine that's a flex slot. It's a pretty expensive install, but it lowers the strength of all cards, which is nice when Brahmin is very expensive to boost strength. So I think that helps you. Like the idea that now you break like an Anansi once you're fully set up for like 4 credits is nice. It saves you 2 credits to the Brahmin if you need it. And there's a lot of 5 strength ice. Like you're seeing Slot Machine, you're seeing I'm naming Code Gates, which isn't a good thing to do. Slot Machine, you see Engram, all that stuff I guess you do get through with Oiler for free. So yeah, I think it's interesting. Having played a lot of Brahmin, the 1x Cubone is good to see. Cubone is a cool card, man. Cubone seems like a really important part of aggressive Shaper, and I really hope aggressive Shaper can be a thing. Also, hello, Foley. How's it going? Verbal Plasticity really offer a lot of draw. Basically, for good size rig, you can draw for 2, run, install. Click for something. That extra draw for 3 credits is really good. I disagree. Compared to Earthrise Hotel, Verbal Plasticity looks terrible. Really terrible, right? Like, the basic idea is if you install an Earthrise Hotel, you get 6 cards for no clicks. And for Verbal Plasticity to compare to that, you need to spend 6 turns drawing every single turn just to compare to the value of a single Earthrise. So that's very unlikely to be a thing. It also like the idea is that if you're spending a click to draw, like, yeah, that's a normal thing to do, but there's a lot of good decks right now that don't want to spend a click to draw. I know that sounds maybe a bit wild, but if you're playing like an Anarch, maybe you're playing what's her face? Like it's of course you're gonna draw, but a lot of decks don't want to click to draw, just like a lot of decks don't want to click for credits. Maybe you're playing Hoshiko or something like that. You have built-in draw with 0. Like you're, of course, maybe I'm carving out a big example, but I feel like Earthrise Hotel is just better. Wayne, well, how's it going? Star-Lord. Yeah, that's Chris, right? Chris in his space guns. I only saw one of the Guardians of the Galaxy, but that deck looks cool. I understand that he draws like encounter cards to make things cheaper. That sounds fun. Still believe that Flame Mountain Wu wants at least one of the bin breakers, makes for easy trashing. Yeah, Zendorius, that's a really good point though. Like this list could easily, and we've seen lists like that before, run a single bin breaker instead of Ice Carver. Like even just running a paperclip might be worth it. In theory, paperclip doesn't benefit the best from Cyber Troop Telut compared to Black Orchestra and MK Ultra. But yeah, you could put a bin breaker in there. You get to install it hopefully cheaply with mantles, and then if you have Aesops, you have an engine. And I think that's like a totally legitimate way to run a deck like this. IP isn't splashes more, but it's nearly in all yellow decks. I believe it. There's a chance that maybe people are playing ping more, but yeah, against there's a lot of decks that you know it's going to be in for sure. NBN helps. Slot Machine is sort of the de facto 1-pip ice nowadays. Yeah, or Engram even. Man, people love Engram. I think it's just a Slot Machine is better than IP block almost always. Well, no, because IP block ends the run, Plywood. How's it going, right? Like the idea is that you can score behind that, and it's also a legitimate tag me reason. Like some people will float a tag in the early to mid game. So I don't know. Also like Acme loves, obviously. I feel like we played against Acme last week. Verbal will be good once corpse gets slowed down. Maybe you have to go to 12 to 15 to make it worth over Earthrise. Yeah, that's also the thing, is like you have to get it down early, and then the game has to go pretty long. And games generally don't go as long as the value of verbal, the time it needs to get over the Earthrise Hotel hump. And then on top of that, you need to draw 3 copies of this. And I think this is something that D&D didn't mention in their okay, so we have a time now, but D&D, when they talked about it, and you can find the review on Shinteki, or sorry, Netrunner DB. And I'm not saying this to discourage people from writing reviews. I think it's really cool that we can have conversations about this. And they did a really good breakdown of like the efficiency of it on clicks and everything. Firstly, I just want to say, evaluating the efficiency of a card by having to draw the card, I feel like that's not necessary in basically any calculation, because every card you have to draw. So you can just kind of sweep that under the mat. But the idea that Earthrise, you have to install multiple of them, you have a similar issue though with verbal, because you're going to be running 2, if not even 3, if you really want it. And then those are really bad dead draws. Earthrise is never a dead draw. Wait, that was my review thesis? Uh-oh. I guess Mantle's actually 2 credits more tempo positive than Rizeki, since you can use it on the turn it's installed. I guess so. But yeah, the idea that that's credits is a real thing. I think this deck with its early century problems would benefit from MK Ultra. Yeah, MK Ultra is also only 2 influence, right? You have an influence left over. I'm really behind the chat. I'm playing bad Steve deck with Verbal instead of Diesel Earthrise, and it's definitely worse than alternatives. Yeah, I think specifically also in Steve, you can do really well with well, firstly, what's it called? Class Act. You should be playing Enemy Criminal before that. Aaron, how's it going? I like your website. Andre, you destroyed me, sir. Just received System Gateway physical cards yesterday. Ordered first never cards in around 4 years. Got him. Are you still making content? I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's been really good. MK Ultra does all the things you want, especially if the deck has sentry trouble early. Yeah, I think it's a really big deal that we get a breaker in here that does the sentries. I hate the Aesop's conspiracy engine. It's solving a problem that I don't think exists. Well, I don't think it's necessary, but I think it's a nice thing to include in the list. But then you're committing to Aesop's, and that can be a bit. Physical cards are awesome. I'm probably going to get soon myself. Yo, physical cards are so cool to get. Okay, talk about IP block. So we are in Reality Plus. Now, I think we do have a misdirection for what that matters, but we also don't have a nice way. Like, we don't have a hunting grounds, so their fun houses are going to be a problem. I don't know how easily we can go tag me. Thanks, you too. But the idea is that one tag a turn. So they're definitely running ping. They're definitely running maybe AR enhanced security. They're definitely running funhouse, and that stuff can be pretty difficult for us. Our opening hand has a Rezeki, and I think that's the best thing we have in our opening hand. The Hushik is dead. What is this? What is this going on here? JNet, what are you doing? We don't need words anymore. We got the symbols. That's kind of cool. I'm going to mulligan this. I think we want to open with a better economy because we can't afford to install Brahmin early. We just want to gamble. Yeah, that's good. Damn. What do y'all think of Reaver in a Flameout Woo deck? The deck with all the trashing is pretty decent. I think Reaver is like such an undervalued card. Reaver is an incredibly powerful effect. Best of luck. So this is the issue, right? Like if we run this, it's an IP block. They can boost into it and it works out well for them. If it's a ping, it's annoying. It's probably Rashida. If it's an AR enhanced security early, it's a really, really hard time for us. Symbols? How's it going, John? How you doing? Garlic, how you doing? This guy. Yo, Garlic, I think I saw you posting today in Green Level, right? I hope you found somebody, a mentor. Definitely going to get up to speed on Startup, so I'm incredibly impressed by the Nisei team and their work. Yo, Startup is such a good format. You're doing well. You're doing really well there. Okay, what did they do? Did they mulligan? I got to play this deck now. They kept their hand, so we could always like Sure Gamble run this. I think the worst case, okay, we could do Sure Gamble SMC run this, and I'm okay with that. Having a single click this early in the game is not, or sorry, a single tag this early in the game is not that big of a deal. If they spend 5 here on a funhouse, it's totally fine. Price sec? Oh, it's a spin. Honestly, I think we do trash that. They just drew 2, so like running HQ here is probably fine because they drew 2 cards and then they didn't have the ability to protect them, so they could have drawn an agenda. Like trashing an NGO friend seems good. We also have to watch out. There's a deck right now that was Armin Firecracker's deck, I believe, that they posted that this is a Neurospike deck. And we don't have any tech to deal with Neurospike, so if they ever do like a double advance card and they have Seamless into something, it can be lethal. This might be Armin's deck. I don't know what upgrade that deck would run though. Anoetic? I'm not sure. Yeah, I've been hanging out GLC, and yeah, it was really helpful in showing me the basics. Hell yeah, the system works. I got your tag because I'm listed as a mentor, but I didn't have time today. I'm glad people are. It's like very quick. If you don't know about green level clearance, if you're new to the game, you can tag yourself and be like, "Hey, I'm learning JNet or Netrunner. Can somebody help me out?" And then somebody helps you out. It's sick. Honestly, I think we just overclock this, right? Is there a deck list for what we're playing now? Yeah, actually, if you're watching on Twitch, which you are, the deck list should be there on the right, so you can see it. In it's the Netrunner DB deck list of the week. It could be price tag. I think you're right. It could be. So this is a ping. So we took a tag, so they got 2 credits. So we're just gonna go ahead and break this. We could bring out the Brahmin. I think we're just gonna pull out the Gauss. So we're true. We'll probably trash a Rashida. Thanks. I'm on Android. We'll try the web. Oh yeah, you need to be on. You need to be not be on that. What are they doing here? Oh, it's an Amaze Amusements. Oh man. Okay, that's a problem for us. We're gonna have a lot of tags here. We could actually die to boom straight out. So it looks like this is an agenda. It's tomorrow's headline. So we have a bunch of tags. Whenever running the server ends. So it looks like we're gonna go tag me at this point. Well, can we pop misdirection? We don't have enough clicks. So if we don't trash this. This card's really interesting. It's a way stronger wording than things like Ben Musashi. I'm a big fan. By the way, I have the script for the NBN video. I thought I was going to get it up last weekend, but I did not. So it'll be this weekend. Apologies for that. So now we run HQ here and hope that we hit a boom. If we find a consulting visit, we lose. If we find a high profile target, we lose. Okay, yeah. So it's we might die. Run HQ for boom, 100%. Yeah. Planogram, that's value. Gain 3, get 3. But now that we're playing tag me, and again, we don't have to. We can always just like pop Cabinet's ability to get a misdirection. Spin Doctor. So if it's a boom here, we're safe because it's a double. So they did draw a fair bit. And we don't know anything about their agenda suite. Whether they're on Quantum Kitty. Looks bad right now for us. Working very hard to kill you. Yeah, it looks like they are. There's not a lot of punishment here. Besides death. They could be on psychographics. I think we're going to run archives. I don't know if this list has dirty laundry. It doesn't. That's unfortunate. We're going to run archives. They had HHN, so you're going to need money up before running if you're going to shake those tags. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. All right. Let's pop the dock. 2 unseen. So it looks like they have no agendas in hand. You're right. They could hard hitting news us again. But that's fine. So we could Cabinets of Woo straight up for an SMC, or we could Cabinets of Woo for a misdirection. Exchange of info for that 2-pointer. Trade you for the ice. So both of those are options here. We also can install Flame Out and then put misdirection Cabinets. Oh, it removes it from the game. Excuse me. So that's not good. We'd have to like pull it, use it. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work for us. Flame Out the misdirection. Yeah, but then the misdirection gets removed from the game. That seems like it'd be a problem for us. But I don't think there's any way to not have it be removed from the game. I think this is still just the best play. Oh, no, because we can trash it. Oh, no. We can trash it with this thing. Yeah, of course. So we're going to pull out the misdirection. We're going to retroactively host on here. That's just a JNet quibble. It's not a real thing you can do in Netrunner. Excuse me. Unable to pay for misdirection? Excuse me. Oh, but clicks. I may have goofed this up. Great. I was feeling pretty confident. Thank you. I was feeling pretty confident about this, my friends. Okay, I'm gonna go 1, 2. I'm gonna return this. So we're just gonna get removed from the game. Yeah, it's fine, right? Let's try and not die. And then I'm just going to go ahead and RFG this. Because Cabinessa does that. So we have no more misdirection. So we get hard hitting news here. Maybe. I think if they hard hitting news us here, though, it's like they have to spend a fair bit on it. They have to spend like 5 credits. I feel like we probably should have just played Tag Me. Yeah, maybe the hard hitting news us. That's fine, though, because now we can play Tag Me. So like IP block is a real issue. We don't have imp in the list. Yeah, that's fine. We didn't want to SMC for it. Yeah, we could have. The problem is like, yeah, we probably should have just SMC'd for it. I think you're right. I thought for some reason SMCing for it, we didn't have enough clicks. Because we had to pull SMC, then pop the SMC, install it for 2. Yeah, we could have SMC'd for it. So at this point, it's pretty high variance. Let's try and win. We have Bologna money. The amount of tags we have is unlikely to matter. Oh, wait. I'm going to click for a credit first, if anything, because if that's a Bologna, we need 5 credits. Oh, Hushik for 1? Wait, our hand is all 2s. So we'll run server. We'll run HQ first. Try and hit a boom. Honestly, I don't want to trash that. We'll break that for 1, right? Nice. Oh, I can't let them have that. because then they'll draw into it. So again, if they draw into a high profile target, we're dead on the spot. If they draw into a boom, we're dead on the spot. Consulting visit is going to be a triple. It's probably the NGO front. I think we just have to start hamming centrals. Slamming centrals. Hamming centrals. So that's an NGO front, right? I don't know, we're drawing for a diesel, I guess. It's not much. We can clear one tag, but it really doesn't matter here. R&D hope it's Funhouse. Yeah, I think that's the best. This was by no means necessary. It's a turnpike, that's fine. We actually make money on this now. Because we have a distance whenever we pass the ice gain too. So this is really strong though, and that's one of the beauties of NBN Reality Plus is even if the runner goes tag me, you still get value. And they don't have the card they want here. It looks like they're drawing. So we need to find that boom and trash it. Public trail. Okay. Yeah, so there's also a chance that they're just on a Neurospike deck and they have no punishment. Oh, predictive planogram is so good. You can still clear all the tags soon if you try light. I feel like if we do that, we'll just lose the game. Like we can't spend 10 credits and 5 clicks doing that. The best we have is to hope it's a Neurospike deck and then half the rice is useless. That I'm interested in. It looks like that's a spin doctor because they overdrew. So I think the right thing is actually just to run this. Oh, actually, no, server 1 could be a spin doctor. Running archives is probably better. So Rashida, you can't have that. I'll run archives first. Because if those are agendas, they'll get shuffled in by server 1 spin doctor if they are there. We're going to have 5 credits when we access this. So we can run and steal Bologna and then run and steal re-education and win. They have nothing scored. You have some time. Do you have misdirection? We get removed it from game, unfortunately, Invader. We wooed it. We didn't have time. We could have definitely got it back if we wanted to. It's a funhouse. Okay, that's a dead ice, and I think we're just gonna go HQ here. We have a lot of cards in hand. There you go. So we're on game point. Again, we could be dead. I'm hoping it's a Neurospike deck. And if this is, they have 5 credits, so this is, oh, they just had it. Okay, good game. Man, yeah, this is really rude. Like, I don't think a lot of people will play around Amaze. They high profile targeted, by the way. Thanks, you too. Rip, yeah, I know, that happens. I think if we played a bit simpler, like that's the thing with a high profile target, we can't avoid that. Like we can't trash it. And that's 5 influence. I'm surprised they were on that. This looked like a different deck. But yeah, this thing is like really, really rude because it doesn't prevent you from not stealing it. So you're always gonna get 2 tags there. Plus, like that was a guaranteed 3 tag play. So like, yeah, it's going to be bad for us. I think it had time to clear down, but fun game. Oh, we didn't. We definitely did not. Right? Like, think about this, okay? When did we go tag me? We did goof it though. Like, we didn't have to remove this from the game. I think that was probably the better play. So from this point on, we had 4 tags. We have 5 credits. We do credit, credit, credit. Oh yeah, no, you're right. We probably could have, but at that point they could jam. And that's also the issue is if we clear the tag, well, 0 point scored, I don't think it's a problem. Look, well, I see what you mean. But the thing is that if we clear the tags, we still can't deal with this remote server, right? Like we still, every time we run this, we still an agenda take 2 tags. I guess we have to run this when there's no agenda in it. But I feel like clearing the tags is like the way that is obviously less likely that we lose now, but I think it's way more likely that we lose in the future. I think it's not a good idea to go tag me unless you have a way to deal with tag punish. Yeah, well, at that point, we lost that. We definitely lost that. I don't know. I think we definitely like misplayed with the misdirection heavily, but I wasn't expected to get blown out there by Amaze. Perhaps you didn't need to run on the tag clear turn. That is a big thing. If we did not run on the tag clear turn, I think that was the biggest mistake we made by a mile. They had hard-hitting news in hand, and I did not respect that in the slightest. I thought the math would be way worse for some reason. I thought 1 link would be like a brilliant. But it definitely wasn't. So not running there would have given us time to rebuild because we went from tags straight into more tags and we could have definitely stabilized. I think you have to set up before starting to run, like let the first agenda slide. I think you're totally right. I think you're very right. And that's a problem where I'm playing Shaper is that I'm way more aggressive. I feel like I'm playing Criminal or anything with Botulus where I just want to run the Rashida early. And I think Amaze is like the one punish there. Because if I give us a price tag, it was fine. Like we got blown out there by a huge amount. Like Amaze into that one agenda. What is it called? Tomorrow's headline. Like that is Immense. There's nothing else in the game that will give you 3 tags like that. Let alone also the ping, which, you know, it's pretty ridiculous. But yeah, maybe we could have just set up more because we are definitely a late game deck. Generally, go tag me if you're more likely to win the game before you're punished. Then you're to clear the tags and recover before you lose the corp doing corp things. No, for sure, Raketha. But I think there's some matchups where if you don't have, like, I do not feel good about us in that matchup. Barring misdirection, like, we don't have a good way to deal with their ice. So I was hoping that we were on 2 points, so we can steal 2 3-pointers and end the game. Now, the issue is, like, that deck is only on Hushik. So it's not like we have Maker's Eye or Stargate or anything that would close the game a bit faster. Like, if we had a Conduit, we could have probably done it. But yeah, you know, we were not going to win going tag me there for sure. I generally don't consider going tag me unless one of us is in game point. All right, PE. We've been playing against so much PE. Hushik is abstractly really good against PE. A Clot can be nice against PE. Hushik is cool because you see a lot of cards, but you don't access any of them besides the one that you choose to access. So you can like steal really big points. They're also on a 52 card deck, so that's wild. So they're going to be on 22 to 23 agendas. That's not something you try to do. Our pressure is pretty good. Well, no, our pressure is not very good. If we had a Stargate, we'd be wildly different. So our pressure is basically the 2 Hushiks and then running their remotes. The thing is, like, I don't know how much they're going to be into ice. Yeah, Tataki, the room's red now. Yeah, it is. I put on the normal lights and I was like, wait, we can change this. Sometimes playing risky and hoping they don't have punishment in hand is more likely to win and try and clear 4 tags. And Raketha, that's what I was leaning at. But I think in retrospect, like the idea that they're, what's it called? Reality Plus makes that so much harder, right? Like every interaction we made drew them 2 cards. Like we drew them so many cards that they're way closer to their kill punishment. So that might be on us. The problem with Hushik here is that you want to use your cards for HP, not install them. Yeah, totally. I think we can get away with like Hushiking for 3 or 4. We'll be happy. Okay, I'm just running all of these. There is no trap I'm scared of here besides Snare. And if they pay for Snare, I'm not scared of anything. We're going to find an Urtica Cypher. House of Knives. I'll take it. How bad is Snare? Not bad. It's a Maryland. Honestly, I'd probably consider trashing that. Question is, what server 2? I think we trashed this, honestly, and then we just hit this button. Running through Turnpike to give them cards is a bit sus there, too. Yeah, it's awful. Yeah, giving them cards is really, really bad. Trash Maryland, poor EP can't kill you. Yeah, it's unlikely that they can kill us here. The Sting does what, 2 damage? Close. But yeah, I wanted to run that card. It just, if it's a Snare, it's pretty bad. But now they're in 2 credits, so they can't fire Snare. We have to watch out because their ability does damage. And this also is scary. If they score one of these early, the ones that we steal get a lot harder. But they're going to spend a couple of turns now just clicking for credits. Oh, Rizeki's really good. It's the one card we install and then we don't play any of other economy cards. Trash. I think Amaze is very subpar in Argus. It doesn't do enough for the influence. Sangren, you think? I think it makes some of the ice some of the best tempo in the game. Oh, Amaze. Sorry, I was thinking Reality Plus. Subpar in Argus. It's like probably 2 or 3 influence, right? Oh, no worries. Riseki doing its best scrubber impression. So it looks like they wanted to ice up server 6, and with 2 credits, I'm not really worried about what they can res. Like it could be specifically it could be on 2 credits. What could it be? It could be an Engram Flush. It could be a Diviner, and Diviner's not going to connect here. I think I'm going to run it. We have 2 hardware. Okay, now I'll run it. Oh, we have Rebirth. What shaper just like goofs on people? I don't think any of them. Oh, Thimblerig, that's fine. Now you don't have any money. So that has to be Rashida. So now they can't fire anything here besides Urtica. It's an Obakata. That's 5 damage. Well, that's not going anywhere. So we can leave that there until we're on game point, generally. So that's not going to go anywhere anytime fast. Tao is funny sometimes. Oh man, Tao would be great. But unfortunately, they just already res the Thimble Rig. A Kiko for Kit or Rebirth, probably? You know what? Yeah, Kiko is interesting. They don't have money, but I don't know how deep I want to see in their deck. Ice free range guy? Yeah, once they res a thimble rig though, it seems awful. It's the bane. Okay, so obviously we could like Cabinessa Wu at a breaker to deal with the thimble rig. They're only 2 credits. I feel like running HQ seems nice. Man, I do not know how to play this. I'm just gonna start smashing. We don't need to set up. Our whole engine's useless against this sort of deck. Okay, that's an Ike. We're R&D. They can't fire snare here. There's the engram. Okay. Run everything when they're broke. Yeah, if they're under 4 credits, it's like so easy in this matchup to run everything. Oh, they're protecting a Maryland. I think it's actually really worth us getting in there. We also could run R&D, trash that if they get a shuffle, run R&D again. But we can't let them have money. And you see so many of the turns they're going to be clicking for credits. So again, we only need to get to 4 points. That looks like it's an Ike or an engram. Did Andy ever see Rebirth play? Into Andy? Never. Out of Andy all the time. All right, so they're on 2 credits. So what are our ways to deal? Like if we pull out a Brahmin for this, it's miserable, right? Or was Crim bad by the time it was printed? No, Crim was very good. Andy Rebirth was incredibly strong. Like I don't want to go Euler this. And I don't want to Brahmin this because I can't. Like I have to install Gauss just to Brahmin? That seems awful. What do you do here? Do you ask? I think we just SMC for Euler. Put a Hushik and Brahmin, it's not bad. Isn't every ice you see in Kogi? It is. I think we just pulled the Euler. I think we just SMC for Euler. Like I think just keeping their money down is like the most important thing we could do. And like we break this for free. Eventually it's 2 though. That's actually pretty expensive. Do you have a Mayfly? No, Chris, we don't. Gabriel, how's it going? Just learned about the Nisei project. I'm back in the game. Hell yeah. First time seeing your content. I love it. Pleasantly surprised you're in Montreal as well. Yo, is that the Randolph in your early videos? It is the Randolph. That was the one specifically that's still in like Petite Patrie. If you want, yo, Gabriel, send an email to mtlnetrunner@gmail.com because we have a Slack channel. And that's where all the Netrunner people in Montreal hang out. That's really cool. Probably should run R&D first for chances of 2 X's. Yeah, I think last turn we're going to creative commission, but you might have been right there. We could have gone for the shuffle. It's a Prana. Man, I think this card is awful. I feel like I'm okay with them drawing this because I do not respect it in the slightly. Yo, Ma, this new UI, it's really cool. It's really simple. So again, we know Obokata is probably Ike Engram. Those get kind of expensive. Sweet. Yeah, yo, do it up for sure, Gabriel. The Montreal community is quite something. Andre's bad relationship with Prana, it's fucking terrible. Excuse me. Prana is so bad. I don't get it. People love it. People love it. So one of these is the Prana, and if we guess it wrong, the resin gets some money, and we just go trash it. I do not like breaking this for 2. Let's go and tax out of Rizeki. So excited for the Angel Arena update. Wait, what? What's the Angel Arena bite? I just like Engram immensely. It's way above the curve. Yeah, totally. 100%. It's way above the curve. Noah's such a boss. I believe that is true. Okay, so we stole that. So we're on 3 points. It does an absurd amount of damage. Technically complete images online. I don't want a creative commission last click. I don't know if we're scared of, but I just don't think we need the money this turn. Does this list only rely on Simon Chip to reinstall breakers? No, actually, Zandorius relies on something you're not going to see in this matchup at all, which is Prognostic Q Loop, and reinstalling things off the top of your deck that you put there with Brahmin. So now they have to push for this agenda, which is so awkward. Draw cards to get Obo next turn. We don't want to get it until we're on game point. So I'm going to let them like spend money on it. Like they're on 3 credits, so like we can run R&D pretty fleet. Oh wait, how do we not die to Sting? When a player scores or steals the agenda, do X damage. X is the number of copies Sting and the other player score area +1. Okay, so we'll do 3 damage. So as soon as we see 1 in R&D, then we just like drop and run that. Just give us a 1-pointer, right? This deck probably has so many of them. Angel Arena is Lost Geek's new project. Angel Arena is a new lobby. Okay, there we go. Well, then we just wait till next turn. And Diesel's good. Okay, Angel Arena's Lost Geek's new project. It's a new lobby tab. Not sure if the screenshot I've seen is public yet. It's very exciting. That sounds awesome. Yo, Bob, how's it going? He posted images on GLC. Does anyone have a link? That'd be amazing. Oh, that's heartbreaking. They got it up to 4 advancements. They have no money. The one thing that could end the run here is a vanilla. So I'm just going to go ahead and egret it. Oh, it's only on res dice? I'm sorry. Oof. Almost. Sorry about that. I'm just going to run it. It has to be straight of vanilla, and even then we could Cabinessa for a breaker and go back. I grab a link then? Thank you, Jazz. GG. Good game. And for what it's worth, because thanks for the game. Personal evolution, it says a damage when an agenda is scored or stolen. And if you steal the winning points, you actually don't have to worry about that last firing. So this is something that, like, I don't know, like we played P on this what's it called, on this channel before, and I think the big thing that you need to do in a lot of PE decks is you have to advance your cards, because only any face down card I'm not really scared of. I don't think there's any reason to be scared of any face down card. Like, there's no more psychic field that could do your whole hand worth of damage. So the worst case scenario is they pay 4 to do 3 net damage with snare, and at that point that's like most of their money. And that's such a big deal. If they start advancing cards and then we run into traps like Cerebral Overrider or like you know, that stuff gets really scary. So I think that's one of the biggest things about Jinteki decks. If you think runners will be scared of you installing 3 on turn 1, I don't think they should be. What am I looking at? I don't know what I'm looking at. Yeah, Urtikai or Hokusai? Yeah, Hokusai helps. Urtikai's good for sure. What is this? Angel Arena. Match between Charlie Arces. Start new run. What? What is this? The idea that you make a deck and play it against other competitive decks? Whoa. Like a gauntlet? Oh, like Arena, like Hearthstone Arena, is Aaron saying. Is it like you make a deck and then you have a run and then you get kicked out once you lose the run? Just like Hearthstone. Okay, hold on. So Hearthstone has a thing where you make a... Okay, but I'm all over the place. So in Hearthstone, there's a thing where you go to arena mode, and arena is basically a draft format in which you build a deck. Every time it shows you 3 options, you pick one until you built your 30 card Hearthstone deck. And then you play against other people, and you're paired against somebody with a similar win rate to you. So you're not playing against someone who's like already 11-0. And if you win 12 in a row, you won arena. But as soon as you get 3 losses, not consecutive, just 3 losses throughout the whole run, you also lose. So it looks like this is arena for Netrunner. Now, I don't think you're going to draft a deck. If you did, wait, are you going to draft a deck? That would be amazing. That's incredible. No constraints on deck building. Okay, so it's just like standard. Well, I take the constraints are standard constraints, right? Not draft a guy. Oh man, that's awesome. That's so cool. And so you can just keep grinding your deck until you're like 100 games in a row undefeated. And then your deck gets pulled into whatever, where they put Keyforge decks when they're too good. FFG puts them under a rock somewhere in Minnesota. Arcade style leaderboards? What? I think you just set the format to any of those. That's amazing. Oh man, it's gonna be so great. You're gonna see government takeover decks. Oh, it's gonna be amazing. That's actually really, really cool. That's super neat. Lost Geek is doing some cool stuff here. And they're testing it. It's working. It's all in flux at the moment. That's awesome. Trust me, I've asked. Draft is not a priority for JNet. I'm not surprised. For what it's worth, if you want to get into the draft of Netrunner, and this is not exactly draft, but people do their own snake drafts, and there's a website that I'm hoping loads called anrsealed.com, and it looks like it's not been updated for System Gateway yet. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's been updated for System Gateway, but this is a really fun thing that we used to play, that it will generate draft packs, or the idea that these are your draft packs you open, and then you build a legal deck with these draft packs. The identities actually do have some text on them just to help them out, and I think it's pretty cool text, but this is a fun way to play Netrunner as well. This is an interesting site. This is really cool. We played this at work. We ran a whole draft tournament for a month or so, and it's neat. It's a really fun way to be like, okay, it sends you like basically different RAR files to say all the cards that you've opened, and then you build decks. We've been doing our draft leagues off of Meteor. What is this? Stimhack.meteor or Meteor.stimhack? It's been a while. Yeah, okay. So this is another deck building website if you're new to Netrunner. This used to be oh man, this was Kivs, right? It was Meteor. I forget what it was called before, but a lot more people use this not for deck building, but for building cubes. because you can draft off of this, I think. StimHack bought this, or they're paying for it now. That's cool. Could probably make a way to import from there if that would be useful. From sealed, or you can import from sealed into Netrunner DB. You just copy your cards over, I think, and then you build with it. Yo, wed geeks, I need to update my IRL cubes. Yo, cubes are fun. Man, that's the sort of thing in person is a good thing. Yo, I feel like we played this deck list of the week twice. We did it once really poorly, and then the other time our deck really didn't matter. I'm gonna do one more. Because by golly, we need to see Prognostic Key Loop. It's honestly quite frustrating how many Netrunner players want me to play some off-brand limited. I just want to play normal limited. Everyone seems to have their own variant. Meteor's great. What do you mean by that? We usually go off Meteor? Kat, how does it work on Meteor? Is it like a you pick a row? I think you pick a row, right? Like it shows you an array of 9 cards. Okay, we're going to be talking about this in a second. But there's a big chance that one of the best decks in the meta right now is a Built to Last deck. And if you asked somebody 2 weeks ago, they would have said it was a Government Takeover Red Planet Couriers deck. And the deck is like kind of poisonous. What was really interesting, and we'll be talking about this in the news section, is the German NWE play group has found a better version of it that's actually way more consistent and doesn't go to the end of the game, but can actually score out pretty consistently. But it's all still through Biotic Labor Red Planet Couriers. And that sucks to play against. And I'm not excited for this matchup if this is what this is. Pentagraph is the best part of our opening hand. I'm going to mulligan this. The Built to Last deck that they didn't post on NetRunner. Yeah, they did not post it on NetRunner. I don't know if they did that on purpose, but if you watch Aki's stream, there is a deck list on there, so you can just build it. But that deck is, oh, it sounds awful. So this is Built to Last. First advancement is basically free, or it's like clicking for credit. Yo, pick one. How's it going? Yeah, it is different, isn't it? Change some stuff around. Mass comm and RPC can coexist with IDs like this or cards like Kayambe. Yeah, I feel like mass comms and RPC need some sort of balance change. I am very frustrated by those cards. Claude. Yeah, Claude works. Claude is a thing, but this deck can, especially if they get out a big Atlas, can red level clearance in for what's it called? For a Cyberdex Fire Suite. Like this Claude does not beat this deck anymore. It used to. But they've built it in such a way, because I don't know, Synchron, if you've seen the new list, but the idea with the new list is that it scores an Atlas with like 9 counters on it. And then you can't beat it because they can pull out all their combo pieces and red level clearance and clot, and they just do everything. So it's a largely unbeatable unless you can find the Government Takeover. And we're not an aggressive deck. I don't know how to play this opening hand. This Leech is not particularly good because we won't be running a lot. And Brahmin's going to look really silly once we have to break a Ferris. I honestly don't know what to do here. I think I'm going to draw once more. Oh, that's awful. How do you play this? Wasn't Pincel who came up with a 10 million IQ Atlas idea? I'm not sure. I know NWE did it, and I think Pincel was playing the list, but I couldn't tell you more than that. This is really good technically if we set it up aggressively. I feel like the Leech is pretty bad because we're not going to be running often. SMC River Zekis? Yeah, maybe. But this SMC does threaten Clot for the early game, but not that we can't get another one. Yeah, you have to Clot the Atlas. Yeah, we have to Clot the first one. This looks a bit different. I'm not sure this deck is great against it, to be a fair. No, I'm pretty sure our deck is not great against this deck. Because this deck is trying to be unrunnable. So we run here. Mouseless Hoard'em. That stuff is fine. If they're a tag punishment deck, that's a problem. Excuse me. I think I'm just going to overclock this remote. Building a remote in 2021. What is this blasphemy? I don't know how to play this deck. I don't know how to play this deck. Look at this guy just overclocking server 1 with 7 credits. The older deck could anyway, no. The ID can't recover since it's not once per turn. I'm not sure I follow Wako. This is a wall to wall. Oh, it's Rashida. Okay. Well, now I'm worried that we're going to get hardening used instead. And the interesting thing about this list is you don't know if you're playing against the punitive version or the non-punitive version. And the version that won or almost won last weekend is not a punitive version. So I feel like we just need to get some credits here. You might want to burn those overclock cards before the access. Oh, you're right. We probably should have just SMC'd for Rizeki. I think you're 100% correct. If we, well, I was worried that was a wall to wall, but yeah, we burnt oh, it's a fast advance deck. Okay, cool. All right, so that's a combo. I'm just gonna go ham now. Wait, we have Clot. Wait, I could have clotted at any point. Wait, what? Oh, I could have. Oh, I could have. Did they wait? It's all good. I'm okay with them scoring that. They can score that one. You can have that one. So we can put it on server 1 and actually just run server 1, which is interesting. But we probably just need pressure R&D, and the problem with this deck is it doesn't have a conduit, which is not great. So we could put it on server 1 and force them to res it, but yeah, I wish we had a conduit. I've had some fun with reverse accounts. Man, yeah, I love that this deck encourages you to play any advanceable trap. I don't like this. I like playing Criminal. I like playing Anarch where I can just smash R&D right now and it'll work out for me, but I have to set up, which like against this matchup seems awful. They have 2 cards in hand. If they don't res here, mind you, or even if we get through the ice. So an ice wall here would be bad. If they res a Hordem, they probably can't res on HQ. That's an Akhet. How big is Gauss? I wish Clot was reworked to somehow work without having the awkward interaction. There's no real way to do it. Because any card that cares, like, you need to install it clicklessly. I'm going to go HQ now. Andre, it's not Netrunner, it's Net Installer when you're playing Shaper. Ah, man. They got a second advancement. I didn't even realize that. And it's another Akhet. So this Akhet's going to be 3 advancements? No, it's a different card, right? Oh, wow. On the same card. Hey, Andre, it's been a minute. Yo, Frank, how you doing? I'm doing good, thank you. So HQ is now well protected. Maybe you could pull it after score to put it back to server with full advancement. Pull it back. Oh, that would be disgusting. Because then there's no windows or bluffing and you can't like CVS it. Oh man, I don't know what I'm doing. Can I rebirth into Quetzal, please? Yeah, I really struggle with anything that doesn't have a very direct game plan of just put pressure on. Like the idea that I have to look at all these cards that are incredibly expensive and then think like 3 turns from now these are going to be good. Like that's not a good way for me to play the Netrunner. They should probably triple advance this. Whatever you're drawing for, you can woo out. Yeah, but anything that we woo out will disappear unless we do something about it. And we don't have rejig, so we can't really woo out our breakers because we need them. We only have 1 of them. If they get removed from the game, we're in a really bad spot. But I see what you mean. And it's just like, oh man, Brahmin, like in theory gets through this for 1 credit. I think we just do it. I think we do it. I think we install Brahmin, break this for 1, get the 2 back. When you encounter with a piece of ice where you use Brahmin to break it, add 1 install virus program on top of your stack. But then this goes on top of my stack. We don't pass the ice. We don't get the 2 credits. That's so bad. I don't know how to play this. I think we just how bad is Gauss? Gauss is probably really bad. 1 strength. So Gauss costs 3 credits to get through this ice wall. 4 credits even. Oh man. Maybe I'll have to do a video on playing dumb Shaper decks. I appreciate it, Singer. Yo, Ed, how's it going? This is why I like the bin breakers and woo. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's kind of a reason for that too. Like we're gonna be too slow to show DZMZ. Maybe the best thing is we can set up because we have access to Clot. Maybe that's the best thing we got going. But like I feel like I'm gonna throw out half these cards because we just can't afford them. So I'll install that because it feels like a good thing to install. Actually the leech is kind of nice in this, but as some, yeah, we'll put this down if we're gonna, but like, oh man, money's bad. Still Moobraham, yeah, this is our 3rd game. We haven't got a prognostic yet, and this just feels like too many pieces for me to be comfortable with. Oh, we also goofed up and we don't have Clot money here. Alright, they're on 9. That's why you need the ice carver you pitched. Yeah, right? We thought it was a different matchup. Not that I want to install this for 3. I think that's half of my content already. Gas gets plus 2 the turn you install it at least. That's something. This is more pieces than Hive Mind Max. Man, I just need to spend a whole day playing Hive Mind Max because, man, that deck is fun. So what could server 1 be? Literally anything. Can we contest it well? No. Egret's only on a rezzed piece. Not amazing. I think we just overclock it. Less Shaper, please. I think we just overclock it. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I really don't know what I'm doing. This feels so bad. I'm not usually this unconfident about my Netrunner. Oh, beans. We should SMC here. We're going to lose the value on it. Yeah, we should have SMC'd prior. We did not need 5 credits. We just wasted like 5 credits there. That was really, really stupid. In theory, we should pop this and just keep 2 credits on it. But they used it and they shuffled back Reconstruction Dedication Ceremony. So that was not very good. We've also run, not that we have a big idea, they're some sort of punishment deck. Well, this is free. That's cute. But my God, do I not like Netrunner decks that don't do anything aggressively. You had a window when they did the Jackson for overclock credits? No. Oh, technically, yes. You're right. I think we did, Brick. You're right. Because they say, do you want to access? And then they pop this. And then we can react to that because it's a paid ability. Yeah, we definitely could have. Yeah, we have a paid ability window there. Excuse me. I forgot. I thought we committed to access, and at that point you can't. But yeah, because they're doing a paid ability, we can react with a paid ability. Oh, man. Okay. Card in server 1 again. We have 1 credit, so that's going good for us. Looks like you're supposed to install Brahmin to get around Woo's RFG. You know, I get it, but like, I just don't understand how we can afford this. Like, I think we had to overclock it out because I don't think we can ever afford this for 4 credits. And I just don't also understand how the deck makes money. Like, in terms of raw econ cards in this deck, I just don't get what our econ is. We have 2 Rizeki, 1 Beth, a Dreamnet, 3 Sure Gambles, and 3 Overclocks. Pantograph sometimes. Like, there's no casts. The money seems so limited. Ugh. Install with the simul chip? Install what? Hey, Seds. So this we can pop to use this. Simul chip can be popped. This just feels terrible. Being on 1 credit, like, I don't know what we can do besides draw into Creative Commission and get lucky. Like, we do credit deuces. Like, I just want to make sure that we have enough money for this thing. Like, whatever. Great. Can't afford those. No cast is bad. Yeah, no cast seems kind of rough. I'm like kind of interested in just like saying goodbye to Cabinessa and just saying hello to Lat to get free card draw, but that I think would break the entire deck. What are we on counts? We're on 2-2. We're on 1-1. We can't even play a Sure Gamble here. We can always like simul chip aggressively, like we don't need the cube on here. But we definitely should have put the Gauss in and got some pressure on here. I don't know what I'm doing here. Rebirth can get us into smoke. No. I think for money, the idea that ice is cheap enough between Brahmin and Q-Loop math breakers that Cuban pays for runs. I sort of understand that, but you still need money. Like, you still need money. Even if you're spending only like 3 credits to get through 1 ice, that's still a lot of money. Like, I don't understand how do we get that money back. Like, maybe you have to overclock always. You just like overclock archives to get a Brahmin out. And like, we did waste a lot of overclock money. That's like totally on us. But I am confused. That looks like a CVS. I think we have to run that. And this is going to get to 5 strength. You can drop the Brahmin in a future turn to use your SMC and then save 3 on the Brahmin install. Oh, I see what you mean. That's what Saz is saying. Get this thrown out to install for cheaper. Yeah, that's probably worth doing. That's all good. Looks like they're scoring an Atlas. Simon Chip's doing nothing, so it might as well instant speed. Yeah, I think you're right about that. Oh, Trick of Light. That's not what I thought it would be. Man, I played a deck like this recently. If we install Brahmin, we can't Sure Gamble. Actually, no, we install it for pretty cheap. Oh, this is for using, not for installing? Ugh. Man, I wish we just had some pressure instead of this thing. Okay, well now we can run R&D and gain 2 credits. I've been struggling. Still no clot? No, because I didn't think that was going to be a Trickle Light. If they scored a hostile, I'm totally fine with that. We could use the bad publicity. I didn't think it was going to be a Project Atlas. I wasn't expecting a Trickle Light there. Like, I don't want to spend a clot on a hostile, I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong about that. All right, I'm just going to go. Let's just go play orange cards. No, we're playing Shaper today, unfortunately. But at least an aggressive Shaper. And I don't think this deck is bad. It's just, it's obviously not my wheelhouse. So now I have to put something on top of the deck. I assume that we actually put the mantle. Single axis hedge fund. Sick. We did get money, and now we're going to redraw into that. So that's like technically really bad. They can FA hostile out of hand. Trickle Light is usually a 3-2. No, I know they can FA hostile out of hand, but that's why they didn't install advance and they wait for us to clot. Like, that's still how hostile looks, right? I feel like you're baiting me to make a video on this deck. Do it. I'll watch it. I'll figure it out. Oh man, I just... So we can install this and then install this, or play this and then install this so it's free. Why not bounce the SMC? The SMC in theory is something that we want on the table, and this is not giving us any value, and then we can install it for free if we install it with DZMZ. This in theory is technically an important card, right? Because of clot. So not having this on the table would be a bit worse. It's not a used card, no, it's any card. But you could clot lock a set above, it could be worth it. Yeah, I don't know. I was not that interested. Now knowing it's a 3-2, it's way different. But if it's a hostile, I think they can have that hostile. With the simul chip, maybe you're right that we could just continue clot lock. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe you can just consistently clot lock everything. This is a spin doctor, right? Yeah. Could have wooed it out and then put it back with Brahmin. You shouldn't have drawn it. Oh yeah, but if we ran again, but I don't think we're going to run again that turn. But I see what you mean. You pull with woo, so it's actually... it's free, and then you don't have to click and draw. So yeah, obviously using woo is better than drawing it. For good reason. Now how the heck do we get through this? Where's that ice carver? You only had 3 credits, so clot wasn't an option with SMC. It is actually because of DZMZ. Let alone mantle. You can we actually can install clot on 2 credits. Oh man, I just don't like the idea that we can't run here. All right, so we could like egret, and this comes down. Oh, deck is a Sudoku. I'm running R&D. You have 14 credits. Like we get just absolutely toasted by an archer. Guess we have to. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, that seems bad. It doesn't seem good. Okay, so thinking. So if we want to break this, going to put 2 cards on top of our deck, which is so expensive. Ooh. Explains why I like Shaper so much. Oh man, oh man. Just 1 card if you don't continue past the mounts. Yeah, but just 1 card is so bad. Like the ability to break this for 6 credits and then having to return a card. Like this doesn't seem good, does it? Like I'd rather just let this fire and clear the tag and then break this. Yeah, you should eat the mouse subs, yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're not breaking this. Like, I don't know. Brahmin doesn't even seem that good. I can play his deck, holy moly. Yeah, it's tricky. And I think the biggest thing is not the interactions, but like understanding the macro play. Like the micro play, yeah, obviously I'm not doing a perfect job as you've seen, but the macro play is a lot more interesting. The idea that like you just get these things out and then in the early game you don't do anything and then you're ready to play. And then like which cards you return. I guess that is micro play. It's all good. Should probably have installed Rizeki several turns ago. I don't think so. I'm not convinced. I think specifically even in the matchup they write the Armin has written that installing Rozeki early doesn't make sense in a lot of matchups. And this should be a fast matchup if they're fast advancing. I don't think you want to pay that much money for Rozeki. Problem is like we're just single accessing and that's bad. You should install Rozeki with the first overclock. Even that I'm not sure because having that self-modifying code is worth a lot. This SMC is the only thing that's like really keeping us in the game right now. Remove a tag. I don't think we do remove a tag. Exchange of information is not a threat. I don't think they're going to kill us. We have no resources. The problem is if we cabiness a woo for our thing, then it's going to get removed from game. So you can't do that with click left. Like it's so clumsy. There's only certain like patterns of when you can and can't run. So I feel like we have to draw it. The question is like, how close are we to a Hushuk? So far away. We have to install so many more cards. Now the Oiler somewhat helps. Yeah, I feel like any Hushuk deck is just not going to be... I have to draw it. I don't see any way around it. Brahmins for the Q-Loop jank? Yeah, we haven't seen Q-Loop, and Q-Loop obviously makes this a lot more palatable. Substitute Brahmin for any AI? Any AI also doesn't always work because, in theory, I'm going to react to this. But yeah, not all AIs work with the bird. Like, can we deal with 2-ice remote? Can we deal with a 2-ice remote, let alone border control? I don't think we can. Yo, Jankdavis, how's it going? I am struggling with this deck list of the week. It's not my kind of deck. It has a lot of moving parts. And we can't put Clot to the top of our deck, so we have access to putting Cuban to the top of the deck. So I think we just Cabiness a Woo out our Fractor. And then we run this remote. We can do this, the Fractor, run. Yeah. Also super weird. I didn't get a Twitch notification. That is super weird. Sorry to hear that. I don't know what that would be. If this is a barrier, we'll return this to the top of the deck. Oh, it's a Hordem. Oh, that's actually awkward. But no, that's perfect. That's not bad. So that's good. That's obviously what you want. Okay, cool. Oh, Pantograph. Don't mind if I do. Oh man, that felt good. I'm back on board. This deck is amazing. Sick. That was really cool. That was quite neat. I'm drawing it. I don't think we can Cabinessa this turn. Like that's the problem is like to get value from this, we'd have to not draw. Because then we can install it. Yeah, I'm drawing it. Just credit? Nah, I want to just draw. Because I don't see how we're going to get value from this unless we draw way more cards. Cabo next turn? Yeah, maybe. But then like we're running R&D for a single and that sucks. Like that's not particularly good when we can't deal with Mouseless. Like here they probably have to purge. There you go, they did. And luckily we have a lot of things we don't have to like use Simulchip this turn. So if anything we want to go through here, what's the strength on this bad boy? We can break this for 3 credits. It's not the worst. Two tags though becomes an issue. I think we sit back. Oh man, wait, we're tagged. We can't do that. Unless. New Jaina interface? Yeah, Duck, there is. Wait, doesn't this break the interaction? It puts the card on top of our deck. Give me a prognostic. That's good. I'm just gonna draw again. Yeah, okay. Oh, this is stuck now. That's a problem. The draw doesn't actually do anything though. It's like equally fast to have it in hand or in the deck and shuffle when you would get on top of it. But the problem is like if we don't pull it out with Woo, like if we pull out with Woo, we're basically saying we're gonna run this turn. And I don't think we wanted to run that turn after they purge the Clot. Like we have no real good reason to run. So if we're not running, then we are not drawing. And if like we need to draw through a deck. So if you Simulchip when they purge Clot, can you get it back for free? Yes, you can. But I don't want to do that because then they just purge that turn. Like I'd rather them have to put an agenda out there. We'll see if they can bait it out with like an NGO friend or something. This thing up here is annoying. Is there a way to get rid of this? And they're advancing, and I can't. There you go. Okay, cool. Okay. You could shuffle, always woo something else for shuffle. Yeah, but then, like, at that point, you're right. We could shuffle for woo and just get something out of our deck, like a misdirection. But, like, at that point, we might as well draw, right? I think. Are we running this? I think there's a big chance this is a wall-to-wall, but there's also a big chance that they understand what we can and can't do regarding this remote server. This is 3 credits. This is 2 credits. We have so much work to do to get, like, we need still 4 agendas. It's just figuring out whether we run this or not. Like, running this is actually really expensive. I gotta go for it. All right. Relatively cheap. Having another DZMZ would be huge. It's a credit a turn. We could give them the credit in theory. We might want to put DreamNet down first. I think that's true. Do we want to put Gauss on top of our deck or Mantle? If we have Gauss here, we actually can consider running here for 3 credits, which seems nice. So I'll put the Mantle. Oh, Rashida, that's good. Came in late and not entirely sure what's going on. Suggest we APOC. Funny enough, and this is wild, is this is Armin's deck, and Armin did really well in Store Championship this last weekend, playing a different Shaper deck, and that one did not make a decklist a week, and that is an APOC deck. Yo, Paul, how's it going? I feel if we run HQ, we just are never going to financially recover from this. Like, how are we going to recover from this? It's 3 credits to break this? And this fires. No, we're not going to do it. We Cabinessa out. We Cabinessa out. It's still so expensive. No, I don't know. I think we clear tag like Beth. Like, it seems awful. The flame mat's pretty important. Yeah, you're right. The flame mat's a really big piece in terms of economy because all that stuff would have been free. And that's an econ card we missed when we're talking about the economy in the deck. But also it's another 2 install, which seems nice. I'm gonna remove tag. And if I install this, we go down to 2 credits. Oh, that's so bad. Let's get value runs with DreamNet. Yeah, we could have DreamNet run archives, but again, if we're trying to use our Cabinets ability, we don't want to draw here because we can just pull the thing that's on top of our deck. Oh, actually, we should have put Gauss on top of our deck. Yeah, we should have put Gauss on top of our deck in that situation so it comes in at higher strength. That was a misplay because I thought we were going to run HQ. And we want to put this on top of our deck because when it comes installed way stronger. We also did not respect Claude. Oh my god, wait, no, we can still Claude. Thinking, 1 sec. Just trash this. No, we're fine. This deck must run much better if you find an early Q loop and mental. Yeah, I believe it. Yo, Nero, how's it going? For what's worth, the Q loop doesn't seem the most important. Not goofing up the Gauss would be important here. Getting this on top of our deck seems really good. So things we could do. Claw bad here? What do you mean? You can't steal if you claw it? You don't think? What don't you think? You don't believe? I don't believe. Man, 5 strength. This is such a mistake. This should have been on top of our deck by a mile. 3 straight games and you haven't even seen a Q loop? That's wild. Yeah, I know, but like, it's still going to be hard in any of these matchups. The Q loop would actually be pretty good with the Mantle. So if we put the Gauss on top of our deck, it would have come in at 4 strength. That's a really big deal. Because now we have to boost 4 just to get up the strength. So this is 4, 5, and then this is going to have 3 advances on it. So you need to break all of it. So that's 6, 7, 8. So let's draw 1 and 22, and we know it's not on top of our deck. I don't think we're going to get into this remote server. And at that point, they went off a hostile takeover. You can steal, but it costs all your money? I don't even think we can. This we have to boost twice, 2, 4, 5. And then this is 3. That's 8. I don't, how can we get in? I don't think we can. I feel like playing Beth and clearing the tag was just nonsense for how fast this game is going to be. Like, this was not worth it. Isn't Horm immune to AIs? Only if it's triple advanced. And you're right, it will be triple advanced once they get through the Aket. So Bane, that's a really good point. We're goofed anyways. We're toast. Unless we install Oiler. Like, we do Oiler, Egret from deck. Oh, I don't want to be playing this deck. So we install Oiler. It costs us 1 credit. We're at 1 credit. Then Egret from deck. What's Egret cost? Probably 1, 2, 1, 2, 2. So that's installed for 1. So we can install Oiler and Egret and be on 0. At that point, we're on 0. No, we can't. Man, I'm playing this terribly. I'm getting really discouraged. I'm drawing the mantle. Oh, that feels so bad. That's a good card. I forgot we have creative mission in the deck. That's good. So when you want a pocket fem, we can't even afford it. Euler? I always pronounce it Euler. It's Euler. It's Euler from my understanding. Oh, above the law. Good thing we installed Beth. They've been holding on to that one for a while. So this is actually good. This installs for basically free. Actually, it's probably better to install the mantle. No, this is good enough. All right, so they went off of a hostile. We need to get HQ pressure, but like, would they have a click left? How? Oh. I did not realize that. I didn't realize they had a click left. If they had a click left, we would not install the Rozeki. Definitely Euler threw me from loop. Yeah, it's Euler. Oh, this is still quite bad. This was a bad install. Euler, unless you're a fan of Calgary's hockey team. No, it's Euler. The problem is like running this like, oh man, if it's a hostile plays around this, they could probably just give us a 3-2 agenda considering they don't need to play around Clot and then Clot's a thing anyways. But installing this was way wrong. We want to install the mantle so that we have credits to install all this sort of stuff. Having an ice carver would have been really good. We're getting to good Hushik value. But a single Hushik won't win. We probably need 3 Hushiks, which the deck doesn't have. But we probably have to run this. So we install Euler. We can get through this relatively cheaply for 2 credits. We can't get through this. Oh no, we could Brahmin it. I think we'll get through it. I wish we had a mantle. So I didn't do the math here. It's 2, 4, oh Jesus, 5. And this is 2, 4, 5. This is so bad. And this is 1, 2. That's all our money to make this run. Okay. Okay. We'll get there. This is not break a subroutine. Okay, so it's not all subroutines. We didn't find out a cool hack. Cool Brahmin life hack. So put this on top of their deck, continue encounter, break for 2. Because when it comes in and breaks Cody, it's for 0. I wanted to have 1 extra credit so we can trash for a sheet if it's necessary. I just don't see how we're going to put pressure on HQ behind an Aket. Like, we have to just camp the remote. Yeah, there. Okay, we made the right call. No. Is that the right to install? We already installed something. No. So now we need to find a simul chip. And we know the top card of our deck is a Fractor. There are 2 who should consider winning. They're on 4 credits. Again, hostile takeover means they could have technically 0 credits and still score it with Audacity, which they're likely to have. So we need to get the Clot. I think that's way more important than anything else. So we'd have to straight up pull the last simul chip. That's the only option here, right? It's the last simul chip or HQ pressure. So HQ pressure is pretty expensive. It's 5 credits against single axis. That seems pretty rough. I always could run archives. I think one of the only time Audrey played Shaper and actually set up was the Persephone deck. I had a clear game plan there. I used to play like a lot of good Shaper decks. Like I really enjoyed Exile a heck of a lot. I don't know what to do here. We're drawing 1 in 20. I feel like we don't have a chance unless we draw the simul chip. Like it's straight up 1 in 20. And there's no way for us to tutor for it. No way for us to find it. We could run archives. We could like the panic is run archives, get an agenda, and then like throw out a Hushik. I feel like that's acceptable. Gauss. Is that said Gorse or Gauss? I think it's Gauss. Give us an agenda. Please, we really need it. And the absolutely most riveting Zoom call on my other screen. I'm glad the stream is on, so I was going to keep me awake. Oh man. Street Chess Exile? No, not chess actually. I like Bin Breakers Aesop's Exile. I like that heck of a lot. But yeah, at some point that was Street Chess, but that was a long time ago. That was a really cool deck. For those people who are new to Netrunner before seeing the chess pieces, oh, you're missing out. They were really cool. Not gonna be simul chip. Not a simul chip. So looks like we have lost this game. GG. Yeah, Street Chess was a ton of fun. Oh my god, Street Chess was cool. Yeah, so we definitely goofed up. We probably should have clotted the first Atlas, and we had definitely a very different game there. I obviously don't know what I'm doing. Thanks for the game, eh? So Prognostic was the next card, and our simul chip is near the bottom, so again, we can't really count on that. And our Cult Lock is like not too strong. We can't lock them, but we can definitely slow them down. Of course, Andre thinks Street Chess is fun. There's actually running involved for that deck. Hey! I think it wastes a lot of value. Oh, for sure. I forgot I could use one after you popped spin. Second one, I was hoping to use most of the money on a wall-to-wall, but definitely goofed it. Had the Brahmin in hand. Unfortunately. Okay. Okay. I'm really glad they were playing a different deck. Yeah, Rizeki would have been a steal. Why run when you can install? Let's light it up. I don't even know if I'm going to. I think I'm panicking. I think I can't play any more Shaper. You kidding me? I'm falling apart out here. Yo, real talk. Hold on. Where's the real talk button? It's this. Oh man. It feels terrible. I don't know what's happening. Like playing a deck like this, and this happened before with the Max. Like I cannot wrap my mind around it. Streaming this sort of stuff, like it's just totally different. If I'm playing it, okay, no, hold on. What I'm trying to say, if I'm commentating this, I have a really good idea what's going on. I feel like I really do. But if you put me in front of this, where there's like so many things going on, like I just can't figure it out. I don't know what's happening. And then like it gets like this recursive cycle where then I get stressed about the fact that I'm not figuring it out. And that makes it worse and worse, especially because I know people are watching and then I worry it's bad content. It gets really bad. I don't think I can do this. That's like really, really, really rough. So apology if that's a bit hard to watch, but I don't know what to do here. Like I maybe I need to practice this deck before we go on. Get Pat on to commentate. Yo, but that's like if Pat plays it, I'll commentate gladly, and I think I'll be able to piece it together. But oh man, they've been really difficult. Yo, let's do some loot decks. Oh god, sounds kind of fun. You need to have your eye in with some decks. You can't play them for the first time on stream. Yeah, it's been really interesting because like the decks, again, I've said this before, the new decks as of recent have been like pretty skill testing, which is interesting. You did great things consisting. Oh no, we goofed that up really, really bad. It's a lot of fun to watch you in the deck, but I really wish I could deliver play the deck because I have no doubt, and that's like what's such a bummer. Like I know that this deck is probably all right, if not even good. But like I'm not showing it off, and maybe we're getting a bit unlucky. Like the only match that we can confidently do well is the one where our deck really didn't matter. We just ran everything, but yeah, there's a lot of pieces. Frustrated Andre is great content. Then I swear too much. It gets really, really rough. Everyone knows you're not capable of bad company. No, we are. We definitely are. But I appreciate it. Thank you. Wanted an easy and fun Adam list? Hold on just for a second, Aaron. I want to go through the news and then we'll see how we're feeling because the title of the stream makes us seem like we want to build a lat deck, and maybe we can build not a lat deck, excuse me, a Tao deck, and maybe Tao is going to be a bit more aggressive, which is good. So we'll see how that goes. But first, there's some news I want to go over, and it's really exciting. A lot of this stuff to talk about. Firstly, on Reddit 4 days ago, somebody wrote free DIY Netrunner tokens. Suspicious. If you saw this on Craigslist, you probably wouldn't interact with it. But check this out. Somebody basically made some templates for some tokens, and one of the big things if you're getting into system gateway is that it comes with no tokens whatsoever. And while there's a lot of tokens online that you can spend your hard-earned money on, or you can use just coins or credits or poker chips from any other game that you play, somebody put these designs out that you can go ahead and get these printed on assumably hard cardboard. And I quite like these designs. I know I'm pretty picky about this sort of things, but I'd be jazzed to have these tokens. These look quite nice. So if you want to get these tokens, get them printed, find it on Reddit. I'll try and put a link in the description of this video, which is, that'd be good. But that's huge. Good stuff, Raccoon. That's dope. And another thing, and I don't know how many of you know about this. It looks like a lot of people do know about this because there's good views on this. But you might know Aki, a Netscape Navigator. They got a Twitch channel, and they streamed an online store championship last weekend. And it's, I believe they were saying, is the biggest online store championship of all time. It was about 70 players, a really competitive event. The stream goes on for about 13 hours. That's Aki as a VTuber, which is so cool to see. VTubing is amazing. How can you use Twitch without dark mode? That's a good point. Sorry if you got blinded there. But this is really good, and there's a lot of people jumping in. Yeah, Cluster Fox jumps in for commentary. Ed jumps in. Talassen jumps in, and it's quite nice. And the tournament is run by Aki and Cluster Fox and I think Ed as well between the rounds. Ooh, there's that deck we're talking about, but it's really, really quite something. The decks that made it to the top, there's some interesting spins on some of the big meta decks, and the top 8 is actually kind of interesting. Like there's I guess you can see some of it if you look to Netrunner DB, but the deck lists are interesting. Like Armin's other deck, and Armin, mind you, has the deck list of the week. This is just an APOC lat deck, and this did really quite well. And if I'm not mistaken, there's a Sunny deck that came in the top 8, which is like super impressive. Yeah, Algebraic's deck, and Algebraic's sports metal deck was like really weird. It was running Hangeki. It was bizarre, but super cool. And check that stuff out. It's all on Netscape Navigator. You can find on Twitch. So the tournament is totally worth watching. Also, I watch a lot of content on YouTube with no disrespect to anybody at 2x speed. You can do it here because it's hard to watch 13 hours. 2x speed is pretty good because sometimes there's a time between turns. I watch a lot of content in 2x speed. Yusengrin, keep shouting out Yusengrin. Yusengrin put out a video just yesterday. It's introduction to deck building, and basically Yusengrin goes through, we're gonna have to watch this ad. I guess we're not gonna watch the ad. Basically goes through, what's it called? The idea of deck building. So they talk about 2 kinds of deck building. It's really cool, like top-down deck building and then bottom-up deck building. And because deck building can be something that's really intimidating to newer players, and then goes ahead and live builds some decks. Yusengrin says the corp is terrible in testing, and I'm not entirely surprised. The Ronda looks really fun. But hearing somebody who like has been playing this game for a while and knows what they're doing explain how deck building works, I think the hope is that should demystify it and make it a lot more approachable if you're a newer player to the game. Again, use the comments if you want to talk about, like, ask questions and stuff like that. On top of that, I think one of the big things Sengren shouted out, and this is a very correct thing, and I've had to say this recently a couple times for newer players. If you're new to Netrunner and you want to step into startup or you want to step into the standard card pool, one of the best things you can do, and I know that this is like sounds like a personal defeat to some extent, is don't build your own decks. I know it sounds like a really fun thing to do, to build your own decks, and that's really fun. But if you want to like get to like the good Netrunner play and like really improve your play and get to like competitive tables and stuff like that, one of the best things you can do, hands down, is find an existing deck on Netrunner DB that is like a good tournament deck. Like this is probably a good idea, and play this deck, because Netrunner is so difficult. Not only to like play the game properly, but if you set yourself in a position with a bad deck, so even if you play the best, you can't win the game, like you're in such a disadvantage to learn the fundamentals on the basics. And Sengren says it really well in the video. The idea is that if you pick up a good deck that you've net decked, a lot of times the cards you draw will basically tell you what to do. And that's something that I'm struggling, and you see with the deck list of the week modernly, is like I see all these cards and none of these cards clearly tell me what I'm meant to do, and so I really shit the bed consistently. But if I had a deck like say the Wildcat deck from like 2 weeks ago, which I was a big fan of, which was the Valencia deck with a lot of like penny shavers and aggressive run stuff, I can't goof it up because I just do what they say, and then I'd get to a good result. That's the idea. So I do recommend to net deck. It's one of the best ways to make sure that it irons out a huge part of the equation of how to get better at Netrunner. And then on top of that, it teaches you good fundamentals, and then it also teaches you what a good deck looks like. Because trying to figure out what a good deck is, if you've never played a good deck, if you're only building on your own, it's really difficult, and you're not doing yourself any favors. But I'm very aware that a lot of people are going to be pretty stubborn about that and say like, no, I'll figure it out. And yeah, maybe you will eventually. Sure. Have fun, but yeah. Still making bad decks all the time still. Sengren, me too. Great stuff. I love the community info you share. Yo, semicolon for sure. And if there's anything that anybody wants me to shout out that I don't, hit me up with an email, because I can't see everything. So Macaroni said also enjoyed the vid a lot. Sengren built my first ever deck afterward. It sucks, lol. Yeah, there you go. I made a deck for the first time today and I could have won, but I've got to play knives. Wait, what do you mean? Grismo, how's it going? Nothing feels as good as making an amazing deck with a super cool idea and a 0% win rate on JNet. Yeah, Zendorius, but that's like the beginning of the process then too. It's like you bring your cool deck to JNet and you do terribly. And then maybe you go on green level clearance and you ask for some advice on the deck. And someone can just tell you something really basic, like you're going to struggle against a lot of the ice in the meta. Or like your cool engine that is going to take 7 cards to install to get up to speed is just too slow for the meta. Maybe cut out 3 of those cards or just put more money in it. Like all these things can do so much where it can help you get to where you need to be. Because like there's just small things you can goof up that just destroys your Netrunner deck. If you don't have enough money, you're gonna lose. Generally. And like stuff like that is really hard to know. Wait, there are good Netrunner decks? I've been swimming in jank for almost a decade now, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like it's worth noting that if you want like this, I preface that like if you want to go to good competitive tables, and even if you don't, I still think learning fundamentals helps you jank it out. Like a lot of the best like weird deck builders are very good at understanding the basics of Netrunner. It's hard to do one without doing the other. It's like all the people that say like, oh, I taught myself piano. Yeah, sure. Wait, who am I? Fuck off, Billy Joel. No, that's not exactly a point, but I'm saying that there is people that can help you. It's a lot easier than learning it on your own. The issue is that you need to know the card style that fits you, and that's hard. Yeah, play a lot. That does help. And Grismo, that's actually a really big deal. It's like not knowing what kind of deck suits you and what sort of play style suits you. One of the best things you can do is net deck a lot of stuff, because then that's the fastest way for you to play a lot of things to figure out what you like, and also equally important, what you don't like. This is the sort of deck that intimidates me, and I don't think I'd enjoy playing it even if I figured it out. Whereas something like, I don't know, Koshche is always up to some weird stuff. This might be more my style. So, you know, that's really important. The number of times I've got to put misdirection shaver decks is too damn high. The number of times I brought a new deck build idea to JNet and immediately faced an opponent with exactly tech counter it. Yo, Zendorius, it happens all the time. Okay, one more thing I want to shout out, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this actually was just posted by Ice Cold Jazz just earlier today, talking about World Championship and organized play in 2021. So Nisei obviously is in a very difficult position. A lot of places can't do in-play for obvious reasons. So regionals this year are going to be canceled. So there's no regional season 2021. That's a bummer. I have no doubt community members are going to step up and have some sort of events in a pseudo regional styling. So that'll happen. I'm interested to see what Nisei is going to do in the interim, because they've been putting out prize support and saying like do online stuff. So that's cool. Not a final decision on nationals, so we'll listen to that. Continentals will be happening online. Continentals last year was an absolute treat. The fact that there's 3 continentals is amazing for time zones. And then Worlds is very interesting. Worlds as of last year was meant to happen in Toronto, which is kind of like a dream come true for somebody who lives 6 hours away from Toronto. And having a Netrunner tournament in Canada, Worlds in Canada, is just so cool. I have family in Toronto. It like makes so much. It's so easy. It's so easy for me. But unfortunately it was canceled. And basically Nisei saying they would really love to have an in-person event in Toronto again. They kind of soft promised that they would return to Toronto whenever they could. But basically at this point it's really hard. They have a lot of things that they were looking into, and they basically said they won't make a hard call until about August. And they said the Worlds, if it happens in person, or even if it happens online, I reckon it will happen in November. So we won't know if Worlds exists until much later on, and a lot can happen in that time. And that even is a difficult call. A lot can happen in 3 months. The numbers right now of COVID in Ontario, it's a disaster. It's really, really bad. There's a lot of problems going on in Ontario specifically. So it's getting a bit better from what I reckon. But obviously, I would love to have an in-person event in Canada, let alone 6 hours away in Canada. But whatever makes sense, and people need to stay safe. That stuff's really important. Let alone even if it is safe, sometimes it's gonna be hard for people to travel and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, travel restrictions like that. If majority of people can't come to Worlds, is it really Worlds or is it just a Toronto regional? Anyways, I think that's really cool. I'm glad Nisei's communicating about that. Obviously, I think some of us would rather this be different, but I think a lot of it just makes a lot of sense. And I have no doubt online tournaments are going to continue to be great. Again, Aki had a tournament that had like 70 players. It's buck wild. All right, let me catch up on chat. Linty, what's up? One more piece of advice. If you make a mistake because of a JNet UI mistake, it's okay to take it back. As your opponent, I don't want a million takebacks, but I also don't want to win from a UI technicality. Yeah, Linty, that's a really big piece. That's a really big thing on JNet. It's really easy to hit the wrong button. And you see, even in high tournaments, people be like, oh, I misclicked. Can I take that back? And that's a big point. And I heard a really good quote somewhere. The idea that, what do people think about this? A lot of people have strong opinions of this. If I'm playing a board game or I'm playing Netrunner and I make a mistake, that's a very obvious mistake. Or my opponent makes a mistake and I point it out. Some people will take it back gladly, be like, okay, thank you. Or some people say, I'm going to commit to my mistake as a learning experience. And I wish I remember the really cool quote I heard about why living with your mistake is not the best way of learning. I feel like a lot of times you want to actually, it's more impactful to fix the mistake and learn why that mistake was a mistake and see what happens if you don't make the mistake, as opposed to just like, oh, I've ruined everything and I'm going to learn to not make that mistake because I've ruined everything in spite. You know what I mean? Like you're basically, I wouldn't say cutting off your nose to spite your face, but you're committing to learn something because you had a horrible experience, as opposed to like committing to learn something because you realize why it was wrong in a positive way. Anyone want to know what to do in Startup versus Reality Plus running double punitive Counter-Strike plays? Jab, yo, how's it going? Have more money? In Startup, there's not a lot of damage protection. There's a lot of things, Jab, you could do. You could have more money, which is almost always good in your deck, or you could just run one hand size card. So Memory Diamond, or what's it called? T400. Play this. You have 6 hand size. They can't punitive you if you have full hand size. Those are the 2 big things I would say. Both of those seem pretty relevant. Also Anakam in Faction or in Shaper, and you can splash this. It's a good card splashed. If they basically trash an event with their first punitive, you'll draw a card, and then you'll be at 3 more cards in hand. So you're very unkillable. Hopefully that helps. I answered that pretty late. I made way too many mistakes with the UI. I was smashing buttons, not understanding Lamau. Yeah, it's the UI is I think it's pretty good, but I think you could goof it up. Every time I build a jank deck at the time, I put together a silly jank combo. I'm at 30 to 45 cards. I know, yo, Solom, I feel that. And then like you play 40 card minimum decks from Gateway, it feels awful. That OP announcement had to be some serious shade. What do you mean? So you build the money eventually. Oh, Sengren's answering, but generally you can be pretty conservative. You don't need to run too aggressively. They have to install an advanced 5/3s. Yes. +1 hand size mem chip. Oh, everyone's answering the same stuff. That's fantastic. It would be nice to include some info with if you build your own deck, try aim for ice for this amount. Oh, Grismo. Yeah, I think that was feedback that that Sengren got in the video, like how much economy, how much ice, stuff like that. I think there is some standards. Hope the COVID situation improves soon in your area. Yeah, thank you. I'm technically in Quebec, which is a bit better. I got a COVID vaccine in 2 weeks, which is sick. MTG announced the discontinuation of high-level OP today. Oh, whoa, I had no idea. Whoa. Committing the mistake is not fun for either player. It's something small and obvious. Okay, so we're back to the mistake point. Thank you. It's an interesting point about mistakes. Skunk Void is another pain in the ass to play around now. Yo, Macaroni, that is something that came up in the, sorry I'm all over the place, in the Netscape Navigator tournament. And I think Heinzel or Pincel said it at the end. But that combo is ridiculous that you honestly don't need ice. I feel like a really good scoring server is just pop-up window, Managram Skunkworks, and Noetic Void. You might not even need the pop-up window. Did I just recommend bad cards? Sanguine, Anacon's fine. Memory Diamond's okay in startup. It's not amazing. You can get infinite takebacks from me as long as no hidden information has changed. Yes, for me too, unless it's like Worlds, and even then I guess I'd consider it. Because I don't think you want to win Worlds because someone made a technical mistake. Even outside those circumstances, I try and be chill. Yeah. I was reduced to trying to take down the corpse hand size. My cat jumped on my keyboard and took a click for me during Aki SC. I committed because it wasn't actually, it's actually a decent line job. Are you serious? Your cat's a better Netrunner player than you. You gotta watch out. The whole time they were frustrated, like, you don't see it. Run archives. Until finally the paw comes down. All right, we're gonna build something. That's what I have for news, I guess. Let's build a Tao deck. 1000% serious, she's a weapon. Yo, real talk. Can we get a bit serious about this? Can we talk about this? Because this has bothered me for a bit. This is Tao. Tao has a very frustrating ability. And then someone specifically wrote a review of this. Now I need to ask earnestly, because I don't know. Is this satire or not? And I'm not saying that because I think the take is silly, because I agree with some parts of the take, but it's like a very, very strong take. And then this person gets roasted, absolutely roasted by so many people. And then this becomes a meme and then people reference it. And like, this is the thing that I'm worried about. If this isn't satire, which it rightly couldn't be, if I was this person, I would leave this community. Like, that's awful. Like, everyone's dunking on this person. That sucks ass for this person. Does anyone not see this? If I was new to this game and I wrote like a really, like, this person has an account, like they post deck lists. I don't think it's satire. And then everyone's like, yo, have you seen that review? This, what a joke. Like, that fucking sucks. Why are people doing this? I hope this person's okay with it, because like that, I would leave the community if I wrote a review and then this happened to me. Who ushered you? That's fucking funny. That's true. But like, oh man, that sucks. That really sucks. Well, it's telling the player that it sucks. What, Tao? I don't think Tao sucks, but that's regardless. Like, I have, okay, maybe I also go out of the way to do this. I do this poorly. Like, I'm not saying I'm perfect with this, but you can disagree with someone's opinion respectively. But a lot of this is just like lol, like, oh man. And I'm not calling out someone personally. I just feel like you can't, as a group, so many people dunk on someone. It just feels bad. Anywho. Yeah, at the point this is a copy pasta, but like I don't think it is, unless I'm missing something. If I'm missing something and this is like a part of a big joke that everyone's in on, then I'm not entirely, like, I'm totally off. But like, oh, that's hard. That's hard to read. Just the reaction to it, not the post. The post is fine. Yeah, someone says it's really strong. Yeah, okay, cool. You can play against us terribly, and it can blow you horribly. It can horribly win the game. So I get it. Let's be honest, that person was already leaving. No, that's not a way to deal with that, Linty. That's terrible. That person was on the way out, so we want to say like, haha, fuck you, Link. You treat this person with respect. Who cares if they're leaving or not? That's shitty. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it matters how strong their opinion is or whether their opinion is correct or not. This shouldn't be the response to it. Right? I don't know. I hope I'm not too heavy-handed about it. I would be gutted if I was in that situation. Oh my god, I would feel awful. Anyways, let's build a Tao deck. Tao has a strong ability in some games. That's an issue with gaming community, but I learned to grow skin and accept it. Yeah, but not everyone does that. Like, you want to feel comfortable in your community saying what you think about things. Like, that's why there's a review section. Yeah. Anyways, let's go. I'm not going to dwell on that too long. That's not Yeah. The guy literally made the review to whine about the game in the community? But that's fine. That's what most reviews are. Everyone's fine with that. People complain about cards all the time. It's like 1 in every 3 reviews. Everyone's okay with that. That review was over the top. Like, it was a very strong review. I don't think there's anything that person could have said to get dunked on that hard, barring like something offensive, right? I don't think the person losing sleep. I hope not. I really hope not. But anyways, hey, let's talk about Tao. Okay, so Tao Salonga has a pretty interesting ability. And if you're familiar or not familiar for a while, Leela was like the closest to this ability. And Leela is really strong. Leela's ability is very powerful because sorry, Andre has a point though. If I came to the game and got the reaction from the community, well, I'd probably never go to a local meetup again. Yeah, exactly. And also if you saw other people doing that, I don't think you'd feel comfortable. Like, it's one thing for that person, but if other people saw that review and be like, oh wait, I have opinions about this game. I'm new to the game. I want to be in that space writing reviews. And then you won't, because you know, if you give a review that doesn't agree, that's like different from most people, you know, you'll become a meme. Like, I'm not going to write a review. Is it Tao or Teo? I'm assuming it's Tao. We're still waiting. Nisei hasn't put out the release article yet. How's it going, Chris? Taoism and Tao. That's what I think, right? Just like Taoism. That's how you say Tao or Dao in Chinese. The way, the path. But yeah, but Nisei generally puts out like a release article alongside the releases that tells you how to pronounce things. So I think there's a couple things I might be pronouncing incorrectly, or everyone's pronouncing incorrectly, and I'm excited to see. What's the thing over the A? Oh, in theory, in like English pronunciation, that means it's a long vowel sound like Tao. But I don't think that's the same across other languages. This is my reg Tao list. Giles, let me look at this. Thank you. So, cool. This is really interesting, right? Like, this kind of criminal influence. I'm a big fan of it. These tiles were creative commission gambles, orbs, and laundries have so much dough, simply bonkers. Yo, Jim, what up? Yeah, so this is what we want to do. So the idea with Tao is, and I played some games, some startup games, and I played against my partner, and I don't think she respected Tao, and then the Conduit got out of control, and I kind of just want to do that. But the idea with Tao is he has a really strong ability. It's kind of like Leela. The idea is that if you score an agenda, they can move. Okay, hold on. Let me re-rack. Economic pressure seems really important. If you score an agenda and you go to low credits, which doesn't happen all the time, mind you, a lot of people are playing tempo positive agendas. If you score an agenda and you go to 0 credits and you have unresed ice, it's a huge liability, because Tao can then just take that ice that is unresed and put it somewhere like R&D, and then can get a bunch of free runs on R&D where you can't res your ice. And this is where it gets really powerful. On top of that, if Tao has the ability to deal with a single type of ice, or a single strength of ice, if it's something like Atman, they can easily put all that cheap, shitty ice on one server and capitalize on that. The idea is that if you're breaking code gates for free with something like Euler, you can go ham with Conduit. And then again, Tao continues to snowball. If you start smashing to R&D and finding multiple agendas, then Tao's ability fires more, and then the servers are in a really, really bad state. Tao is also a really important card to play properly against, because Tao against just about in every game in Netrunner as a corp, you have to decide what ice you put where, and you generally have some cheap shitty ice, and then you have strong ice you want to score behind, and Tao really goofs that up. Tao also makes you consider which servers to ice up. I think icing up HQ and specifically archives against Tao is generally really, really incorrect. Because a lot of times the Tao will figure out where your best scoring ice is for your remote server that you're trying to score agendas on, and put that on archives or HQ. So a lot of times HQ and archives remain open. And I'm interested to see Tao decks, and I have seen Tao decks playing things like even diversion of funds, if not just emergency shutdown, to punish the fact that icing up HQ seems a bit difficult. Best card of Tao isn't his abilities that he's 40 card. Tao's abilities can potentially be very, very strong. And I think there's going to be a lot of situations where somebody doesn't respect it. Again, scores down to low credits, has an unresed ice on R&D, and then someone slaps down their Conduit and then starts seeing a bunch of cards. And at that point, you're in a really awkward state because you're getting free Conduit runs, so you can't really purge. And then, oh man, it's really, really hard. Find the Truth is good for forcing ice. Find the Truth it seems quite interesting. Find the Truth is a cool way to do it. Tao's the most criminal shaper in the game, but Az is the most shaper criminal in the game. So yeah, I guess that is the case. And I think that's really cool that Tao can be aggressive and you do want to run. My issue with Tao is that all the cards he wants to play, the most Hippo, Botchless, Tranquilizer, run events that affect unres cards are not green. Yeah, and that's a problem right now. Is like this sort of aggressive play style, and you could play Tao as control, and I think playing Tao as control is very legitimate. The idea is that, oh, they score an agenda, now your scoring remote is awful. I think that's a really big deal. Stinkdoor might force an Archives Ice. Yeah, it might. It really might. But I think if they're not icing HQ, you don't really need Sneak Door. But I see what you mean there. Anything to get power off of Archives is pretty good. Just red plan a government takeover against Tao, one swap, one game. Yeah, I know, but that's everybody, right? Like, what are you gonna do against that? Okay, so the idea is that I think that what we want to do is basically have the runner. We want to be able to deal with certain pieces of ice super cheaply, or derez ice so they can't res ice, and hopefully have the corp overextend, and then we slam down a conduit with like a pantograph, then we go, right? That's the idea. Let's see how easily we can capitalize on it. We want to be interacting a fair bit. I think we want to spend a lot of our influence on criminal stuff. I don't know if Diversion of Funds is worth like 2 for 10 influence. Maybe we can play 1. I like Emergency Shutdown a heck of a lot because derez dice is the easiest for Tao to deal with. When Tao can run HQ, derez ice, then eventually move that stuff, and that can be quite strong. So let's see what we can do. Again, I've never really played Tao in Standard, so I don't know what we do. Giles sent this over, this Leela image, this deck list. I think Giles, you sent this, right? Reg Tao, and this looks interesting. Basically, there's a Find the Truth, which is cool. We have falsified credentials to know when we run. I don't know if you'd need this, but it's definitely not bad. And we have Creative Commission as a 2 of. Wow, I think Creative Commission might even be better than Sure Gamble in some cases. Corroder, Angolo, Nanotech, Clot, Leech, Misdirection, Rizeki, SMC. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, Jim, I think Admin Leech is like very interesting. I think Admin's like a really good way to do it because you can stack up things in the right way and then it pressures them to ice up centrals. I just worry it might be too slow. But Atmansucker does seem really cool. And maybe we should try that because it is one of the best ways to deal with ice cheaply. Another option is also like have Leech and Buzzsaw. I think Buzzsaw is incredibly strong when combined with things like Ice Carver, Leech, stuff like that. Because this breaks almost most code gates for 1 credit. That's kind of wild. This is my kind of shaper, much more good stuff. Yeah, no, that is kind of shaper that I'd be comfortable with. Each card here tells me what it wants me to do, and that's way easier to play than the deck that we played earlier. Okay, so let's see what we have to hit Standard, and then we can see what we want to put in here. So generally we start with like some basic stuff. We'll put 3 gambles, 3 creative commissions. I like running. We're gonna put 3 dirty laundries. Pantograph I kind of like a fair bit. We want this to trigger pretty often, so we can maybe put 2 of this in. I like that a fair bit. I think Simulchip is generally good. Self-modifying code is generally good. I want to run 2 conduits because I want to have pressure. I want to get them to have their ice derez, and I just want to win off of conduit. That is our plan. So I'm going to run 2 of these to ensure that we find it early enough and we don't have to like pay 6 credits to SMC it. I think that's good. DZM's at Optimizer is a card I don't think I entirely love. I think the best thing about this is the MU, but I don't know. It's probably fine. It's probably okay. What else are we playing from here? We want some sort of HQ pressure. I do think I like Emergency Shutdown a fair bit, and it's like pretty good on the influence. It's only 3 influence a pop. Tao Salonga. What else do we want to do here? That's the whole deck. Here we go. What is our Breaker Suite? And this is actually an interesting thing, but it's a lot of influence, is the idea of running Botulus. And this is really cool in startup or standard because the idea is that Tao can move around the Botulized ice. So if you put the Botulized on the scoring remote, and if they do eventually score out, then you can put that Botulized ice on R&D, and then your R&D runs are free, which is really good. DZMZ is like good Cyberdelia. I think that's pretty accurate. I think we want to do Atmansucker. This is Giles' admin list. 2 admin, 2 leech. I think I might do 3 and 3, but I think that's fair. Stargate though, I want to do conduit. We'll find the truth as well. I guess that makes sense, right? You do like falsified a fair bit. All right. SMCs? Yeah, 2. That makes sense. Okay, so let's go from here. So we want overclock looks really good if you're running SMC. So we're gonna do some SMCs. We want admin. How many do we want? 3? So admin is really cool that you put 1 at 0 strength, 1 at like 5 strength, 1 at 2 or 3 strength, depending on what you need. And then anything else we'll have specific breakers for. Now the question is, what things are we worried about? Whoredom is pretty popular, which can't be broken by an admin if it's triple advanced. What else? We have to deal with wraparound in theory. So we want a code gate breaker. That's pretty good. And in theory, we also want a fractor. So what's the cheap fractor? Like, I guess we could play Gauss. We also could spend 1 influence on a Marjana. Angola's best. Angola is a lot of influence, a lot of MU though. And we want Conduit, we want multiple admins, and we want multiple leeches. So I don't know if we can actually. I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure whether we can do Angolo. A lot of the lists would just run admin and then like breakers that they didn't intend to install. And the problem is like with Angolo, a lot of times Angolo you'll install early, it's incredibly expensive, and then you'll just use that for a while. So that feels less good. You don't have money for the goal. Yeah, it's kind of expensive. So I'm hoping that we can stay on that and then we can just play cheap fractor. 7ME with DZ and Pantho, but that's if we install everything. We're not going to. Contaminate is a good panic button. Sucker Punch. Yeah, Contaminate's not the worst. That's true. Chameleon for flexibility. The problem with Chameleon is it doesn't deal with the stuff that we're going to struggle with. It's like really click intensive. It's really expensive. I'd rather just get our plan working than rely on this. I don't know. Mantle, Penrose. What is Penrose? Isn't Penrose a stealth breaker? Huh. It's stealth though. Is falsified that much better than deuces? They're different. Deuces can't expose things in a remote server. That's the strength of falsified. CPI rate. Yeah, I don't want to play Chameleon. I think it's going to be a bit too slow. So we would just want a cheap barrier breaker, a fractor if we need one. And I think honestly it might be Marjana wild enough. Unless there's anything in faction that I'm missing. Euler would be good. Oh, what is it? Is Unity? Is Unity programs or breakers? Oh, it's icebreakers. That's not the worst. So this breaks Unity's probably okay. Angola's top tier with Conduit too? What do you mean? I honestly kind of like Unity, and if we needed a killer, it actually I think we're in an okay spot for oh man, what is it called? Echelon? I don't want to pay Corroder because the idea is that we don't want to spend influence on it because we're not going to be using it too often. The idea is that we want to get admin through everything. And if we wanted to spend 2 influence on a fractor, we'd probably just spend 3 and play Corroder. I mean, paperclip. So I don't love that. Do we have spots for Rizekis? I don't think we do. So our economy, oh, this one does have Rizekis in it, but I guess this one is more MU intensive. Clot, interesting. Overclock, Gamble, Dirty, Diesel. Oh yeah, Diesel seems like a good card. I wouldn't play a deck without a single Beth. Daily Cast is always just really good. What are we missing? Telework? Yeah, Telework is good. Is it? Yeah, it seems good. Gas for low strength, Atmansucker for high. Yeah, that's the idea. And now the only thing we can't break is early Sentry. So we can't break what's it called? Swordsman, but we'll live with that. I've been seeing some neat Baba Yaga Unity decks. Probably not good, but interesting. Yeah, no, Baba Yaga is never going to be amazing, but it's always really fun to chase. Worth it to slot Citadel? IP block will ruin your day? Oh, yeah, right. IP block is a problem. Well, if that was the case, I think we'd rather slot, instead of Citadel, I think we'd more likely want to slot Hunting Grounds, right? Because that just hits a couple more cards. Nano is good, but don't slot it either. Yeah, Nano is probably better than Echelon. That's a good point. I feel like we're already at 40 cards though. That's the issue with these sort of lists. How did you do 40 cards? 17 events, we're at 18. What are we playing? We're playing more this, okay. DZMZ, Simulchip, Pantograph. I don't have Simulchips, and Simulchips seem nice. Simulchip is actually quite nice when it comes to admin. You're not playing Beth. Huge mistake. The Find the Truth is actually really cute because we have to find a way to spend influence, so we have no HQ pressure. There's a chance actually that we want to play just instead of Docklands Past. If Clot, if you want 2x Simulchip, then you have enough econ telework, maybe too much. I don't know if we have enough econ. I want to be making money running more. Do we drop the Pantograph and then just play 2 Penny Shaver? That might not be the worst. Imp is good too. Yeah, Imp is actually quite nice. I think Imp is very, very interesting. I don't mind this. This seems cute. Red team's okay. Red team's a bit slow. You have so much econ, it's 40 cards. Reject to reset Gauss. We're never going to use Gauss. The idea is that we never like have to use Gauss. We just admin the Fractor. If this is just so we install a Fractor so we don't have to deal with wraparound. We're not going to try and break anything with Gauss. It's way too much money. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe we don't need this. Maybe that's too much. But then how do we spend 6 influence intelligently? Panto. Maybe Anacom? Anacom, yeah, you're right. Anacom does seem nice. 18 events. Okay. Yeah, I think that's fair. Tread lightly. Ooh, yeah. Imp. Yeah, I like Imp. I like Tread lightly a bit. Botulus. Oh, man. But then we're going to rely on Botulus. 2 inside job for early remote pressure. If that was the case, I'd rather just run Boomerang. Boomerang seems just much better than inside job a lot of the time. Bravado. Yeah, Bravado is good. What's an HQ pressure card? Diversion is 3, right? Damn. White Hat? No, we don't have Link. It's not particularly good. Deuces is okay. Docklands. Yeah, Docklands is like kind of all right. At this point, though, do we just play Find the Truth? No, we don't need Find the Truth. Yeah, Docklands is okay. We have 1 more influence, though. But we're at 44 cards. We need cut stuff. I feel the Imp, we need 3 Simulchips. Yeah, maybe just Bravado is better, right? Legwork. I'd rather play a Docklands pass than Legwork a lot of the time. What's this draw like? I think this draw is good. Oh, that's a bad draw. Eco, if you don't want to do nanotech, I don't think we need a killer. But yeah, I think Eco would be big. Stim hack? No, we got it. We figured it out. We found slim hack. Dirty laundry. Draw. Casts. We DZ probably there. We don't need creative. Draw. I think we might want 3 of these. With 3 overclock, I think having 3 SMC makes sense. 1 Mystic Miami? I don't know. I feel like we have, I'd rather have Paladin Puemo a lot of times, but with Mystic, you can just play, what's it called a lot of times? How good is Shutdown here? What are good targets? Anything. The idea is that hopefully they don't have a lot of money. I wish we had Econ Denial. That's the thing I wish we have. I wish that we could pressure their economy a bit more, but that's diversion of funds, which is really hard. The main threat is Colossus. It wrecks Atmansucker. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we can live with that for now. Like, that's an Eka, if anything. Like, we'd put an Eka or a nanotech, but I'm not worried about that right now. I just want to make sure that this works if it does work, which it might not. But we have to cut 5 cards, or we don't have to. Yeah, we don't have other Econ Denial. Hernando? Oh, Hernando's cute. Oh, Hernando's actually really cute. Xanadu is like too much influence, and it's just not too impactful of a card. Like, this is what doesn't make sense. Like, Xanadu, if you get it down for 3 credits, it might deny the corp 4 credits before the end of the game. Now, it's each piece of ice, that's good though. But Hernando, 1 Hernando res is generally like 3 credits loss. Network Exchange? Oh my god, that's a card, yeah. No, this is terrible though. Polyp is also really good. I'd actually believe that Polyp is better than Hernando, just because we're going to be running HQ anyways. Okay, but 46 cards. 46 cards is a huge issue. So what do we cut? Polyp is really good in the meta right now. That's a good opening hand. We would Diesel first, I reckon. Sure gamble. Installing a DZ and not using it feels bad. 1 Conduit? I don't know. I love having a Conduit. -2 telework? You think we have enough money? I don't know if we have enough money. Maybe we do. Cut an admin? I think cut an admin might be correct. Can we get away with 2 admins? I don't know. Cut Diesel? No, Diesel's really good. Diesel's like the best draw we have. To be, you look poor? Yeah, I don't think we want to cut money. 3 admin, 3 SMC like, seems like too much. The reason why I wanted 3 SMC is so that we can use the overclock credits, because otherwise we can't overclock admin out. Overclock is a very good card with SMC, let alone even Simulchip, because the idea is that you can use these credits to pay for the admin counters. So the overclock is very good in this deck. Do we need the DZMZ? I think we do want some of them because our we need to install a lot of things. Like we need to install Conduit. Sometimes we need to install SMC. We need to install like 1 or 2 leeches and then 1 or 2 admins. It's a lot of things. 1 leech? No, we need to, leeches are so important in this match, in this sort of deck. They're really, really important. Is Hunting Ground's good in the meta? Dead? I don't know. I honestly don't know. This is mostly so we can deal with IP block. I'm not sure if it's good in the meta, but that's like a really easy card to switch. Oh yeah, we're playing Unity. Weird. What encounter are you worried about? IP block, because we have AI. That's mostly it. Cut a cast? I don't want to cut money. Don't want to cut money. Gotta cut summon. Okay, I'll cut an admin. I'll cut a conduit. I don't want to, but I'll do it. -1 slim hack? No. -2 TC? Telework? Let's cut 1. I'll play a 43 card deck. If we cut grounds plus 2 invis, we can put in paperclip and remove Gauss. The thing is, like, we don't need it. Like, we're not hoping to install our Gauss. Excuse me. Our hope is to never have to install a killer. I mean, a fractor. Like, we want to admin everything. 2 admin seems really suspect. Oh. What did I do here? Excuse me? You don't see this, but I opened another window. Cut a laundry, too much overlap with overclock. Yeah, we. Oh man, I did it again. Hold on, you don't see this, I don't think. Yeah, we could probably cut 1 laundry. Laundry is a really good card though. I'm playing 42. I'm doing it. Cut an optimizer. Fine. Let's see how bad the MU is. I don't have a good name. I do not have a good name. This imp seems really suspect because I don't think we're gonna use. We only have 2 simul chips. This probably could change. We could probably cut these 2 and actually just put in a diversion. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Yeah. I solved so many issues. I like that a lot. Thank you. All right. So a couple things we need to do. I'm going to take it down our format. I'm going to add that to JNet. Tao Salonga. That's also pretty good. Where was I reading? Was I reading on Reddit? But somebody, or maybe it was on Facebook. I think it was on Facebook. But the conversation was like, okay, so we have blueberry diesel and we have normal diesel. What is the runner, the Anarch diesel? What would it be like? And I think one person piped in like, they have it. It's called I've Had Worse. Or like, they have it. It's called moshing. And I'm that kind of wet towel that's not going to participate in the experiment because they have it. It's either of those cards. They just didn't put the name on it. Okay, I'm just going to add this. So in theory, if you are watching on desktop, if you wait a bit, it should update with the deck. That is the hope. It doesn't work all the time. Diesel Extreme. Don't we want sustained HQ pressure? Sort of. And I guess with the econ denial, but we're just trying to win on conduit. I don't know if we're gonna give up. But we could also just run like a single what's it called? Turning wheel too. Whiskey. Moshing. It's moshing, Jim. You figured it out. What about like Bagat? Bagat is just not good enough of a card. It is like 4 influence, and then you need to get down. It's kind of expensive. And then it mills like 2-3 cards before the game's over, usually. It's really hard for that card to be good. Okay, so we know that we're playing against generally, so we have to watch out for a Nancy, which is going to be big. It's going to be a big one. But the emergency shutdown can be pretty relevant against Polana. They also have things like, and this is good that we do admin at 5, because then we deal with slot machine, we deal with anger flush, we deal with what's it called? The other one. Hey, thanks, you too. We deal with Anansi. It'll be good. Yeah, everyone's saying admin 5. Admin 5 is great. So where Falsified is good too? Yeah, Falsified is good in this matchup because they put a lot of stuff in the remote. This hand is not amazing. That seems better. Oh, the iced HQ. They saw us coming from a mile away. Oh, damn. Okay, the question is whether we draw this turn because they get a credit the first time we draw. So we definitely want to do, we don't want dirty laundry. I think this turn we want to do SMC, sure gamble. So I think we're going to not draw this turn. I think we're just going to play all our cards. So we'll do this, 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 this. This is where a Revocation would have been sweet. I'm in 5 for Nancy and Ingram's gonna be amazing. Yeah, and slot. No, it's gonna be really good. And this is where we just overclock to get down our Atman 5, which is gonna cost us what? 5 for install, 5 for look at me shaper. Yeah, that's a good start, that's for sure. And they did draw credit. Okay, so now we're gonna start drawing up. That's amazing. Oh my god, that's so good. Pull up is also really, really important in the matchup. This is a bit of an awkward hand. Because it's either Dirty Laundry Archives or Play the Leech. I think we'll just play the Leech. They're very likely to be on... with Leech, wouldn't you want Admin 4? Not exactly. I planned this. Not exactly Dead Gene, because you don't want to rely on your sucker tokens because they're very likely to play CVS and Sandbox. And there's no ice in the deck that's going to be exactly 4 strength. The idea of going Admin 4 is really good if there's like 4 strength and 5 strength ice in the deck. Like maybe also 6 strength if they want a DNA tracker. But if there's 4 strength in their deck, ice in their deck, maybe. Like that's what you do against Hordem Mouseless. But right now it doesn't seem particularly good. I'm just going to run HQ. Oh. Atman 0. No, this is the sort of thing that we just oiler if anything. Do we do? Oh, yeah. Do you farm archives with DL and Leech here? You could, but I'd rather get pokes on centrals because especially we can put a Paul up down here, which seems good. Palisade is 4. I don't think they're running Palisade. They could be though. But there's so much 5 strength ice in their deck. I'm assuming there's at least 9 5 strength ice. Oh, continue to counter. Thimble's very strong against Tao. Oh my god, I forgot we're playing Tao against Thimble Rig. I totally forgot about that. I let it fire. I kind of like this run because we get the Leech counters and then we can build some Leech counters here. But yeah, this is a huge issue. Okay. Okay. Neurospike deck? Punitive deck? No matter what. You dead? No, we're not dead. We had 2 Dirty Laundries in our hand. We're laughing. We're laughing. Okay, what did they do? They swapped the punitive. It doesn't tell us what they did. Wait, it doesn't tell us? What did you do? Yeah, so when we score this, they can look at the top 7 cards of R&D, rearrange them, add any to HQ, trash any of them. It's a very strong effect. Yeah, macaroni, they're good. Discarded 1 and added 1 to HQ. Did you rearrange? Okay, cool. R&D is highlighted? Sort of? Not really. Is it? I'm dirty laundering server 1. So we get Tau value, am I right? Thank you. It's very kind. So this lets them move it again. This is probably Rashida. Have some... I don't want to do this. Now punitive is a bit more interesting. Maybe we win. You see, there's a CVS. Oh man, this is why you don't play this deck. Okay, so we have to draw here so we don't die to punitive. Yeah, Dirty Laundry Archives. Yeah, in theory we should have put this on HQ and just gone HQ. We would have got 2 credits. That's probably good enough. Hedge fund. Uh-oh. Oh, never mind. Okay, so we didn't pull up there. HQ seems open, but they've jammed here. Thimble Rig is just going to make our ability totally blank. It is such... it's very upsetting. I'll be honest. It's very, very, very upsetting. Because our plan is, and this is exactly what the deck is meant to do. If they res some garbage ice like this, you put an R&D after they score agenda, you just go Conduit for 1 credit and access. And that's something Tao can uniquely do. But in this matchup, F off, I guess. So I think we're in an okay spot. We basically can just wait and set up. And these are not good draws. Thimble Rig does blank us, but on the other hand, it doesn't also do anything. Yeah, yeah, it's not great. So I'm just gonna get the Paul up down here. And it gets us 1 sucker token, which is cute. Oh, good game. Oof. Guys, if you play a Shaper deck that runs a lot, you win. It's super easy. Oh, that's rough. Wild. Oh, no. That's not great. Got Netrunner. Damn, I'm good. Ace of the game. Yeah, yeah, totally. We'll redo this. 5 accesses? Yeah, that's good, though. Targeted accesses. That's what Leech does. Leech grabs the agendas. All right, we're gonna do it again. Biz is a cool person. Except to be a high level player, Mr. Streamer. Thank you. You notice because it doesn't have Brahmin and other things I have to interact with, I can just figure it out. Oh, they spelled my name right. That's quite nice. I forgot about Tao's second. All right, let's do it again. We'll figure out how many Thimble Rigs they're on. Opening hand. If they don't ice R&D, we could actually afford to go ham. You do Conduit, run, Creative Commission eventually. I'm going to keep this hand despite my better judgment. I think our deck has so much money that this hand is not like over the curve when it comes to economy. We didn't have to keep it, but okay, they figured us out. So this is where I want to you want to plan your turn. Unfortunately, it looks like we're going to have to draw one here. Okay. Okay. I think you do Creative Commission. This is the interesting thing. Like, do you Creative Commission here because you can? Or do you sure gamble here because you can? Which one's harder to play? I feel like Creative Commission's easier to play, so I'm going to play the gamble. You should make the Tao face when you snatch that many agendas in 1 turn. I think that's just normal face. Resing the NGO front, popping it. Not goofing around. They're respecting us. If you mulligan a hand that you'll draw all your programs. Yeah, the problem is, yeah, we don't have programs here. I'm going to put some pressure on. We could Dirty Laundry HQ. It could be pretty bad. I'm just going to do a normal run here. Quite the rematch. Oh, first ice for a Thimble Rig. God damn it. I think we're going to do the same play. Deja vu. Hey, I'm new. I was wondering how tournaments for Netrunner work. Do you always play one deck, or do you have to switch between Netrunner and Corp? That's a really good question. Macrophage. Not a virus. That's a good question. So how it works generally, there's multiple kinds of tournaments. One of the most common is Swiss tournament, a double-sided tournament. So basically you show up with 1 Corp deck and 1 Runner deck. In every round, you have about 65 minutes to play against your opponent, and you will play both sides. So you play that 1 Runner deck against their Corp and then swap their Corp to their Runner. That being said, modernly, there are new tournaments coming out that are single-sided Swiss. So basically, you still show up to the tournament with 2 decks, 1 Runner and 1 Corp. But randomly, based on what you've played the least and what your opponent has played the least, you only play one side of the tournament. So it'll be like, against this opponent, you're only going to run against their Corp. And the rounds are shorter. They're like 35 minutes. Both tournaments are really kind of cool. They're really fun. And you see a lot of things. You play a lot of things. Single-sided Swiss is like a newer thing. It's kind of like the new hotness, but we've been playing like that double-sided Swiss for years, since Netrunner came out. But yeah, you generally always play 1 deck. Or technically 2 decks, right? 1 Runner, 1 Corp. But you don't switch out decks. There's no sideboard. There's nothing like that. You can't change your deck between games unless the tournament says you can. All right, so Macrophage is probably here, which is a problem. Macrophage is going to be a big reason why this deck is gonna be bad. Oh, that's actually kind of neat. Thank you. No, of course. Welcome. All right, we're gonna draw a bit. Oh man. Remember we had the highest expectations about this sort of deck. So we can install something. I think we just dirty laundry archives, which is a bummer. This feels bad. I think this might surprise them. And if you hit this, like we want them to res something big. Never mind, they have 1 billion credits. Yeah. I forgot we had that. So basically we had pull up. So the idea is they install advanced NGA in front, resin and pop in. And those are 2 paid abilities, and they can do all their paid abilities they want before giving priority to us. So we can't snipe with political operative. Now, if NGO front spent a click to trash to gain 8, then we have to be able to, they have to give us a paid ability before they spend a click. So in that case, that would goof them up. In that situation, we can't do anything. Does this do anything? It does against Slot Machine. It does against Engram. Man, playing Leech into this seems... This hand sucks. I'm just going to run R&D. Are we sure E-Shutdown's better than Bachlan? No. Oh man, I have a Hunting Grounds in my hand and a Rent in Engram? I feel dumb. I feel really silly about that. Event. Oh no. Oh no. Emergency shut down the rig and never run it again. Oh, that's so bad. I should have respected that. It's okay. Interesting. We just lost 7 influence to see a hedge fund. And we had not only a Leech, a Hunting Grounds. What are we doing? How are we doing this? Yeah, we 100% should have played this first because of Slot Machine and because of Engram. That was a big misplay. And this is the exact matchup, I think, where you get the most out of this besides playing against NBN. They know our whole hand as well, so they know what we're capable of and what we're not capable of. So we could keep all up around for Anoetics or Lacostas, but could also just be Rashida here. Not feeling like we have a lot of money. Oh man, this is really bad stuff. Sneak or Beta would be good. Definitely gonna get Punitive? I don't know. Conduit time? Oh yeah, that actually seems pretty smart. Yeah, YOLO. I'll put pressure on. I have to use this now. Technically you don't have to, but on JNet you do. Mistakes were made. So they can see our hand. We know that they're on Obakata. Oh yeah, they're a punitive list. Oh my lord, are they a punitive list? Oh yeah. There's no reason for them to play bacterial programming, but now it's very, very obvious. And they have multiple snares too. We can't afford to trash this. What is that sound? Huh. I recall hunting pop-up. It's implemented? Oh, that'd be sick. Did you click the conduit? I didn't, but it doesn't matter. For your first access, it doesn't matter. For your first access, you're getting the counter no matter what, and you're only seeing 1 card. But after that, you definitely want to click the conduit. So they drew the Mwanza. They drew past the Mwanza. There's a Mwanza. We don't need conduit. They're going to give us Mwanza access. Oh, we're going to get both. And the problem with conduit is they get more money from Mwanza. I'm going for it. I don't care. This doesn't look like a good matchup. Guru MVP? Oh man, this is so hard. Like, how do we get money? 22 credits? We're not doing anything. DZNZ? This deck looked like such good value, but none of these cards do I want to install right now. Like, literally none of them. So why people play Stargate? Yeah, Stargate just dunks on Mwanza. But Stargate's only once a turn. Can't punitive if you win in 1 run. Steel Obakata died to 2 snares after it. Yeah, this is just awful. This is really not good. Like, we're not doing admin. We actually could eventually get through this macrophage if we do admin 5. Anakam helps us with punitive. That's honestly like a good thing we got going for us. This is our only DZ, so I think we have to keep it. I don't think they're running barriers. The shutdown feels bad when we don't make them res that cost 2 ice. I know, Thanos. It's a huge problem right now. Is there's so much taxing ice that's like 2 to 3 credits. Like they're not resing Anansi's. And we can't face check into them because we don't have access to admin. So they shuffled in 2 NGO fronts and now they have a remote survey. They didn't advance it. And he never played Shaper again. I might not. Maybe we've played enough Shaper. These are all terrible. These are all very quite bad. I didn't play my turn. I guess I'll install this, but it's really bad to install this and not install Leech. It's going to be hard to use Leeches. They have CVSs. Maybe this deck needs to spend influence on mutual favors for even more admins. Yo, mutual favors quite nice. I forgot that they were doing that. And the swapping. Oh man, swapping. Got to be another dock in their mode. Yeah, I forgot they're playing this. This makes a lot of sense. All right, let's get one sick run here, okay? Anybody psyched for Mass Effect Legendary Edition tomorrow? Oh, I didn't realize it was coming out tomorrow. That is a game that I think Mass Effect 2 is an amazing game, but I didn't play 3 or 1. But I very much enjoyed Mass Effect 2. All right. We are tilting. Since it's a bad idea to ice archives against Tao, Sneak Door is really good. Sneak Door would be okay here. Yeah, Sneak Door would be all right. I think the biggest problem is like it's a very rough matchup. Like we're doing viruses, they're on Thimblerig, but Sneak Door seems okay. It's definitely looking better than Shutdown, but also they're good with the Sneak Door. I just don't think HQ pressure is like a legitimate way. Oh, that's sick. Okay. Yeah, but Sneak Door is definitely not bad. So this is credits we can use to trash the thing that they're gonna res here. Let me zoom out. So this basically says we're gonna access a bunch more cards. I didn't hit Conduit, which is fine. So we're very likely to die here. Spin Doctor. No, you can draw that. Bacterial, we'll steal that. Swap Ice. Don't mind if I do. You can win. I've been recently playing the Mass Effect series completely independently, the Legendary Edition. And last night I finally made it to ME3 and I can't get to run Windows 10. Wait, really, Young? That is wild. This also lets them interact with the top of the deck so they can put like 2 snares in a row if they have it. So yeah, we're very likely to be dead here. And we don't have enough cards to soak with Anakam. Our card is weakness. Yes. Pay 1 to trash. Okay. Good game. Our weakness, a 2 strength sentry. Oh man, I've never died to Chrysalis. That's amazing. But we trashed it. Yeah, that's a rough matchup. That's a really rough matchup. This is a rough matchup. Yeah, that's the problem with that. Like, if they run with this, they can put anything in order. So, snares, Chrysalis, even Obacadas in a row, we can't steal them. So, it's a very, very, very hard time for us in this deck. Wow, we went through half our deck already. It doesn't feel like it. And like, what were we drawing into? Like, it's weird. Like, if you ask me, none of these cards are what we want. I think the only cards we want here were admin. And we only have 2 admin. I think 2 admin is totally wrong. If we want to be an aggressive running deck, and that was the problem. You saw so many cards that we drew, just like, we can't do anything with this. We need admin to interact. And we're generally pretty good against punitive. We put down Anacom, we'll be fine. They need triple punitive. The curse of building a deck and randomly playing in the hardest match. We still win 50%, eh? I built a similar deck. It's never killed with Chrysalis. Yeah, I actually haven't seen anyone play Chrysalis in a long time. And interestingly, this is like pretty annoying for a deck. We have to do like an admin too. But a lot of times this gets broken for 3 credits in Anarch. That's not bad. That's an interesting ice. The only issue, obviously, you can trash it. Hey, cheers. Tao totally OP? Tao can be really strong. Thimblerig, obviously. No. Tao does nothing. Okay, so check that out. And obviously they play the game a bit differently because they're not that worried about central accesses, but you see that's the power of that turn, right? Like we run R&D, steal an agenda, and then we put the shittiest ice on R&D, and then we run R&D again, and then we get our conduit tokens and like, you know, things spiral. And of course they didn't care about that. They didn't care. And we couldn't even run back because Angry Flush, let alone that's going to kill us. But that's the idea. And I think that's really good. That's like a really strong thing against a lot of decks. But I do think it's a sort of thing like Leela, where if somebody plays intelligently around it, it's obviously way less of an ability than if somebody plays poorly around it, where then they end up with like, oh, my R&D is 2 Enigmas. What have I done? Or Enigma to a Tithe. And then it looks really strong. It's always fun to watch people run into an IG. Oh my God. It doesn't increase the strength. It just increases the trash cost, yeah? It's cool. It's a snare that you don't pay any money to fire. Crystals is cool. I think our Econ Denial package is going to get stuck in our hand. I think it is. And I think the biggest issue why that's the case is that because we can't aggressively run. Like we want to be running turn 1. We want to be running so often. So I want to make some changes here. Let's get rid of Beth. Let's get rid of... We want 3 Atman because we want to find them stat. I feel like we want to be running more. Like I just like Dirty Laundry. I want to slam into things. And what has not been good? I feel like a Simul chip we don't even need. Yeah, okay. Let's try that. Beth, too slow? Jailbreak is honestly interesting. I do like Jailbreak a fair bit. It's a lot stronger with Anacom as well. I like Jailbreak way more than people. You got to Forge the activation orders? Forge just... Oh man, Forge maybe is really good. It's 2 influence though. Forged. Yeah, Forged is kind of nice. Why Doof and not Tread Lightly? Because Tread Lightly, they can always not res. Doof actually, like, the idea is that they don't ice HQ, and then suddenly they don't have money, and then you can run the remote and then capitalize with Conduit. You can't do that with anything else. Like, Tread Lightly just gets you 1 good run. Diversion puts them into a point where they can't res ice, and then you capitalize with your Conduit, which used to be a 2 of. That's the idea, at least. No, I'm gonna keep trying Diversion. I want to see if it lands. Hopefully we're a bit more aggressively. 3 Forge, 2 shutdowns, make them res, then de-res. Yeah, maybe it'd be better even just to switch. Maybe it'd even be better to switch all of these with Forged because they require way less from you. What about Deuces that we know what to swap? Maybe. Yeah, Deuces is not bad. Deuces seems good. I think Deuces would be really easy to play as well. DJ Fenders for Steve to get an easy recursion? It's fine. It's just like that card costs 3 credits. Like I'm never excited about that. I probably should be though. Yeah, maybe I should be. DJ Fenders is really strong. Forge shows what we need to admin. Yeah, that's a good point too. But I think Deuces also would be really good for that. Let's cut this. It's just slots, right? DJ Fenris. Let's try the Fenris. Okay, so now we're at 42, which is not great. I think we actually want to cut a shutdown. I think these ratios should be more like that. Boomerang is hot in Tao? Yeah, it is. Do you know what else is hot in Tao? 42 cards. Lunch break under. Yo, Aurora, how's it going? Oh, a cat. I'm always so terrified when we play against Netrunner players that have like Netrunner cards as their names because it generally means they're a Smurf. Right? Maybe I'm paranoid. Oh, it's not even the new deck. It still has Diversion in it. Thanks, you too. And we're going to be running at the same matchup. It's going to be Paulina with Cyberdeck Sandbox and Macrophage and Thimblerig. We're keeping this. This is fine. Yeah, Thimblerig coming. I know. That's fine. It's a good time for Doofy. Yeah, they might not ice HQ. I think like Paulina can get away with it, though. A lot of their ices are really taxing and really cheap. Like, that's kind of the issue, right? Is against other decks, like Asa decks, they can't really afford to ice centrals, both centrals. But a lot of these decks just can because like, oh, you slot machine. What does it matter? Hello, I am rude. Could be one Asker Smurfs. You know how tilted you'd be for that? You don't expect that. Just remember to play Hunting Grounds? Yeah, nice try. I'm not gonna. Do they mulligan? They mulligan, I'm going HQ. Yeah, that's a really good start. Envelope. Whoa, 3 strength admin? No, thank you. Okay, that shuts their game down. And this is where Forge would be really good, right? Because then you can Forge their ice on R&D. Yeah, Forge seems nice, but we did just cut the diversion. But now Forge plus shutdown when they don't ice HQ, like that's brutal. Ice HQ, okay. I'm gonna run HQ. If they iced, it seems to matter, but they probably just scared of diversion. I've never seen envelope played before. Yeah, people like it. It's one of the only barriers in faction. That's not bad. It has a better face check, so you can't just bounce off of it to get like turning wheel tokens or whatever. Oh, I've seen this deck. This is a political dealings. It has like 3 archive memories, 3 political dealings, flower sermon. They don't have money for this. I've seen this deck on NRDB. I'd run HQ again. We need to get the flower sermons. Anansi, okay. Well, they could celebrity gift. Your puny deck's no match for my blue eyes. Yugi. My blue eyes doof, Yugi. All right, so we were just going for central accesses there. This is where we should have SMC'd for Conduit if I thought about it for like 1 second. Paul, do you think Paul deal rotated? No, for sure. It's a very much what's it called? Card. Mumbad, yeah. It's all about politic. Yeah, we definitely should have SMC'd for Conduit and tried to win the game. Because this deck doesn't have sandbox if it is the deck I think it is. We want them to res here and hopefully get through so we can shut down and then we can like do the thing that we want to do. Pull dealings. No. And last click we can cast. Or draw. No, you can res that. I think we draw here. Our money's good enough. But yeah, we basically want to force a res and then shut down and then go Conduit. We want to put our SMC down. Weird that they didn't res. I think it makes sense. Like they're worried of doof. They're worried about other HQ pressure. Cast to deny them credit. We've already drawn that turn. We opened with Diesel, so we're not denying them a credit. Yeah, and they're gonna celebrity gift anyways. So Anansi, Anoetic Void. There you go. There was a flower sermon probably in there. Political dealing. So Anansi, Anoetic Void. Damn. So that has to be an anoetic flower sermon or political dealing. So we have no information. So we want to get a res here and hopefully we can get through it. And then we can get a shutdown. These things are getting annoying. Interesting, they resed. Flower Sermon is a 4-2 though. They can't even score it. And this is really cool because eventually we break this for 1 credit. We have a Unity as well. Oh, Unity is really bad against Enigma. Do we let this fire? Engram 2. Do we want to do admin 2? Thinking. Because it would have to be admin 2, right? Admin 2 would be 7 credits. No, they can fire that. Oh, Biz, what up? Apex all kind of cards are trash installed cards, but he doesn't care about whether installed face up or face down. What question did I miss? Good game, by the way. Also, I don't think Apex is a he. Hedge fund. Oh, wow, they have good money now. So that looks like an Anansi. 12 credits. Let's see if they res. Apex is a dolphin, right? That's the meme? I don't know. Oh, there you go. Okay. So, we take a net damage and bounce on this? Or we have to pull out admin. We need to pull out admin, but like admin 3 is really awkward. Especially because of this. But it's worth 3 credits for us to get through here. Thinking. 2, 3, 5. So we saw an admin. It's 5 plus string. We can't admin this. Do we Gauss this? If we Gauss this, it's okay. Our Fractor's Gauss. Our Gauss gets through this for like 1 solve for 4 or 1. I think we do it because there's a flower sermon in here. Yeah, I think we do Gauss it. We do look like an APOC deck. Get through and shut it down? Yeah, we could. Oh, man, where is it? I think they put in the remote. I don't think we want to shut this down. They have an Anansi here. The problem is like Gauss gets so bad in a minute. Maybe we do shut it down. Yeah, whatever. Running. They can't afford 8 credits for this, can they? Give me the flower sermon. I swear it's it's in the remote. Gas isn't the worst here. No, but it gets really bad really soon. Like eventually we have to break this thing for 6 credits. I think 5. And now we're like really scared to face check because the Nazi will be lethal. I think they have political dealings. Yeah, it's 4 to break, not 6. Really? Oh, you're right. Yeah, it's not. That's not awful. So that looks like it's an Anoetic Void Flower Sermon. They threw something out here, but we have to draw. Oh man, every time we do that, we draw into one of those. That's amazing. Beth is looking good. If we do telework, we can't install. So I'm gonna just draw and put Beth down. How many dealings in hand? 2. Oh, they got a Flower Sermon. This deck has 1 Seamless Launch and they drew it. So now everything is a problem. Okay. We know this isn't a Nancy. I'll put the Nancy in R&D. We don't have access to Conduit. I wish we had a Conduit. This is why the deck needs 2 Conduits, so that we can just always have a thing to slam here. But we can't. Beth, that 2 slow card? No, it's okay. It's no slower than Rizeki. Oh, Flower Sermon. I forgot Flower Sermon can do things. Yeah, this is the deck. It's on NetRunnerDB. I've seen this deck list. Okay. We don't have Clot. Clot can technically deal with this, but not necessarily because you can use political dealings on the runner's turn with Flower Sermon. List on DB has 3 launch, 3 archive memories, and 3 agendas. Oh, I saw a different one. The one I saw specifically had only 1 seamless launch and 3 archive memories. I don't know if I'm gonna find it. I was looking at it today. I'm pretty convinced it was only a Nancy. Oh. Flower Sermon is used for anoetic feeding? It can be, but it's mostly used to draw so that you draw something with political dealings and then you can fast advance it. So we have to hit the political dealings before it goes in server 1 or we lose. Be hilarious if you put political dealings on top. They might have. We know there's 1 more in HQ. We have to get it. They actually could consider resin cure their envelope, but then I think their money is a problem. Engram Flash. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we have enough pressure. We're just not getting enough pressure. They just always pull it back. Archive memories for Celebrity Gift. This is so bad. I was looking at decks with Jumon. So they have Anansi, Engram Flash, Enigma, Political Dealing, Sisentan. Now, one card that we can technically use is Polop. They have 14 credits, and now there's an Anansi on here. I don't know what to do. We just can't put enough pressure on. We just can't put enough pressure on. I think we take the 1 net damage. Put down the money in the admin 5 when you can. Yeah, I think we have to. That's good that we lost that. Do we draw here? It gives them a credit. Need that Dockland Sneak Door tech? It's not even that good. Because like they can always filter their hand. Like you have to pressure both central servers. I think we have to draw. We can give them a credit. It's unfortunate. Oh man, every time we draw, you get a diesel. It's sick. Yeah, the best way of money up in Conduit, but it's really hard with Flower Sermon. So like if they do score though, they're fast advancing, so they're not gonna have any clicks left. So then we can do something. You got it. So then we can basically put a piece of ice they can't afford. So we're assuming this is a Nancy, and then I think this is I forgot what they showed us. We should know what this ice is, if I'm not mistaken. Do they have snares? I don't think the list has snares that I saw. Here, let's find it real quick. Let's be scummy. We'll search up the deck. Cards used, sermon, political dealings, archive memories. Go away, last pass. Stop it. Okay. I think I already drew from Beth anyways. Get out. Oh, sick. Nice. Thanks. As much as I hate to say it, the Q Brahmin shenanigans would probably work in Tao since you can line up the code gates for Euler. Yeah, but I think a big thing of that deck isn't like using Euler as much as it's using Brahmin. But yeah, no, it could work in Tao. But I think that deck really wants Wu. They reveal a Sai Santan, do you think? We did see an Engram. They revealed Sai Santan there, but they installed this after the first celebrity gift. So let's see if we can see what it was. Anansi, Anoetic, Flower Summer, Political Deals, so we don't know what it was. Oh, this deck has Vulnerability Audit. Oh, you're totally right. It has Vulnerability Audit. Yeah. Oh, it is Aket's deck. It's not even a Smurf. Oh my god, that's so cool that we're playing the person who has this deck. Yeah, I saw this today. That's wild. Okay, so single advance on an Anoetic Void. We can't really do much about that. It's like get Paul up or bust. This is standard. 9, how's it going? Yeah, 3 Vulnerability Audit. Oh, we're so done. We're so done. 3 Anoetic Void. We can't interact with that. Man, why are we only playing bad decks today? We should just play Court. So how do we get through this? We need like Atman 2 and another Atman. Man, Stimhack was a hell of a drug. And we have to deal with Anoetic. Oh, it has 3 seamless launch. Okay, so I was wrong about that. Good thing about Vulnerability Audit though is like, we do have a chance of just winning off of essentials. So hopefully they score this agenda and that we get a big admin. So it's 8 plus Conduit and we go. Stimecco's a hell of a drag, got me spinning up my drink. There you go. There's the audit. The other option is just to put an Enigma on here, but the problem is the Enigma, yeah, we do Enigma. We just do admin too. Because we run last click and we save a credit. Yeah, we'll do this. Why don't I play good decks? Ain't that the way that it hits just every day? Yeah, but hey, you have to build the bad stuff. Okay, so the idea is that we lock them before they win, but it's really hard to lock them with Flower Sermon. The deck isn't running snares. So technically we could play one of these. It saves us 1 credit. Run regular first? I don't think we need to. Doesn't change anything. Yeah, it's not once per turn, yeah. House can experience a single Dove in a deck magically hitting first turn shape. Oh my god, that was beautiful. No, yeah, the problem is that we can't lock them with Flower Sermon because they're just going to draw. Okay. So we'll go again. See 2 cards. We can't lose a click on this because we don't have any clicks, so we don't have to break it. You don't have to break all the subroutines on ice. Engram Flush, and the Fractor, which is a problem. Okay. And still, this thing makes it really hard for us to lock them. Oh man, that's a lot of card draw. Okay, new ice. Can't afford a Nancy. Something in the remote server. Server 1. So we just have to run the remote server, right? I think we just run the remote server. If it's a Nancy, they can't Anoetic Void. And if it's a Nancy, they can't res anything else. So we just have to run the remote server. It's very likely to be a political dealings. And if they res a Nancy on the remote server, yeah, we good. We gain a credit from Beth. I think we just run it. We don't die to a Nancy because we can pay 2. Envelope? Yeah, if it's an envelope. A Diviner. Oh, all odd cards. No. It's a 1 of in the list. Goddamn Diviner. Are we gonna eat a Nancy? No, eating a Nancy would be fine because then they can't win. If it hits the Unity, I'm gonna lose my mind. Sick. We still, I don't know if we lose. If they have seamless launch, we might lose. Or bring Diviner with Unity. Is this system gateway? What is this? Yeah, I should install Unity for sure. And that's a really big deal because we could probably afford to run this 3 times because this isn't a non-scene, they can't res it. Yeah, not installing this first was a huge mistake. I think we probably should have installed it first. I think the deck runs 3 Enigmas. Well, actually, we can deal with Enigma. So it looks like we're getting the Noetic and the political dealings. Yeah. Hit that button. Okay. Safe. So 2 politically downs. They still have 2 archive memories. They're on game point. I don't think they have any other fast events though. Like they don't have Sure Gamble, or sorry, not Sure Gamble, Bionic Labor. Like they have to get the last political dealings. They're scoring this remote. And this remote looks like they can't afford it. 1 of 5. I think we're 2. But yeah, you're correct. And funny enough, like they just haven't resed any big ice because we put on enough econ pressure. Like we can't shut them down. Whoa, what about if we do play Levy AR Lab Access, or not, whatever it's called, Harmony AR Therapy, just to get back like our diversion, one of, you know? Play 2 credits to shuffle that back in. So good. Honestly, I'd consider it. If we have enough pressure cards, right? Like a shutdown, the wake up card, forced activation, forged activations, and diversion. The Bright City, you almost see the flower sermon. Yeah, getting there. 5 credits? You know I can overclock this, right? What center do we die to? Sai Sintan. Damn it, 3 strength ice. Ugh. I feel like a breaker speed is not where we want to be. Maybe we cut the odds and just go Turtle. Turtle is unplayable in the modern meta because everyone's on CVS. Like you'll just die. You just run into something else CVS so you lose. So Sai Santan does 3 damage. We can't run to Sai Santan. They res Sai Santan though. They can't win. Oh, Sai Santan's 2 strength? Oh yeah, never mind. You're right. Sick. I thought it was 3 strength. Yeah, it's 2 strength. I mean, you just died to admin too. Like, what are you breaking with admin 2? We're breaking a lot with admin 2. What do you mean? Oh, CVS. I see what you mean. Okay, do we Tao something here? No, I don't think we do. If anything, we could consider putting the Enigma on the remote. I feel like that's fair. It makes locking R&D a bit more difficult. Admin 3 is looking good. Yeah, Admin 2, Admin 3, that's all we need. Yeah, Leech is 100% just what we need. This deck has no virus stuff. Like, we can hold on if we get Leech. We got 2 Leech and no MU, so, you know, mixed bag. But yeah, oh my god, a Leech is huge. A Leech saves us so much money. Archive Memories. Celebrity Gift. Oh wow, I'm not expecting that. So they're gonna show us their whole hand likely. Engram Flesh and Nancy, Political Dealings, Rashida, Seamless Launch. Okay, so they have a Rashida. A Paul up would be pretty good. We know that there is a Nancy here. So now we have some time to set up. Draw. Sick. MU is a problem though. Anakum's a bit too expensive. Breaking stuff with Gauss system feels bad. Yeah, it's really bad. We could be passing envelope with 2 paperclip. Yeah, but we don't want to. We just want to get an admin. Like, I don't think we want paperclip in the deck. Because we don't want to use our real breakers. This is meant to be a panic backup. But yeah, no, I hear you. I guess that might be wrong. What's the console? We're on Anacom. I kind of wish we're on Pantograph. They threw out a fair bit of ice. I just, like, the issue here is that we're not on daily casts, but now we're dealing with just about everything. With 1 more Atmansucker, we actually, with 1 more Leech counter, we're dealing with a Nancy. because this minuses the strength of ice, and then we can get anything down to 2. So right now we're running HQ for like 2 credits. It's nice. Unfortunately, our economy is entirely dried up. But we are threatening a Conduit, and there's some real agendas in this deck. Now, they can still set up a remote server. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. They can still set up a legit remote server. We need to run that. We do need to run that. Oh, my kingdom for a dirty laundry off the top. Because other plays run archives, and overclock the remote server. Keyhole's running, by the way, if anyone wants to check the list. Oh yeah, good. Hey, it worked. What do you think, Chad? Do we just run archive 3 times and then overclock the remote server? Or we could like draw for specifically a dirty laundry, which is 1 in 15. Sounds awful. Whew. We could also, like, if they end up resing Q, or we could run R&D because they can't res the admin. I feel like I'm okay with that. We only get 1 good run on R&D before we run out of money. We could overclock first just to get another Conduit counter. I feel like that's a better play here. Albeit the power, if we use a Flower Sermon, this seems less better. Running Archives is better than clicking for credit. Yes, that's for sure. And if they use a Flower Sermon here, they can't use it if that is a political dealing. So I feel like we might just want to run Archives, overclock R&D, run R&D. I think I'm going to try that. Because if they res us for 8, like, we're in such a good spot. Oh, but the problem is if we overclock here. No, it's bad. Because we need 5 credits for this. I think we do credit, run R&D. Oh, no, but we need another counter. Oh, man, no, never mind. This is really bad. Because we need 3 for this, and we need 2 for this. They would not res an admin. I'm going to say a Nazi. Yeah, we need to run Archives 1 more, and then we still don't have enough money to get through everything. Like, we could run, but we don't get Conduit accesses. This is unfortunate. I think if anything, we just hope they res the Anansi. Like, I think that's our best case, is that we run here and hope they res the Anansi. If they do res the Anansi, then we don't lose next turn. I think that's the best we got. If they res the Anansi, we'll break it and jack out. Oh, that's a terrible res. Now they can't res a Nancy. Oh, that's unexpected. So this doesn't do anything once per turn. So we're actually going to see, it looks like we're going to see a couple cards here. We also could save a credit and let's fire, but it's very likely to hit. They know our whole hand. So. God, our money's bad. Only need 1 leech for envelope? Yeah. But we needed 3 if this was an Anansi. We played the whole game wrong. We thought there was an Anansi on the table. Apparently they just threw it out. Longevity Serum. Sick. We could win. Swap with Tao. Ooh. Don't mind if I do. What do we swap with Tao? I think we'd put the Enigma here. Oh my god. Look at us, guys. We're playing Netrunner. Anoetic Void. If we trash this. Okay, hold on. If we trash this, we can click for a credit and go back. I see why the leech counters are good here. Yeah, it's very, very powerful with Atman. Why not move the engram to HQ? Because this we don't have to break. We don't have to break this. It's free. And this actually is expensive to break. Then if we hit a vulnerability all day, we can win. Now, they do have Flower Sermon here, but they have to use it at a fine time. We have a small chance of winning. Again, they could Flower Sermon here. Probably should. Oh, they didn't? Damn it. Good game. They probably have it in hand. A good game. Yeah, if they're not using it there, they have it. Oh, it's Rashida. Ooh, not what I was thinking. All good. It's a Rashida. Okay, we're still in. Oh man, they have 10 credits though. We no money. We will be getting a card draw though. That's good for them, I guess. But they need to purge this. The problem is like they can't purge in this sports state. Because we can like click 2, go. We'll probably get a credit from Rashida. I reckon they're going to install a card here. Man, we can taste it. And running HQ is also not the worst, but the problem with running HQ is that they can add the card from HQ to the top of R&D. I really thought they would jam the political dealings here. That's the thing that I think this deck could easily do. Like, I think you can cut 2 Archive Memories and play a Biotic Labor. I feel like it's just such a strong card when you have Yagi Uda and... Oh, I guess it's only 2 Yagis, so maybe not. Click for 3 cards, Conduit R&D looks very good. I have no doubt they're going to put a piece of ice there, though. So there's no ice we can't get through? In theory. Yes, they're icing up Archives. Our plan is working. And they're not threatening to win this turn, which is so huge. So we actually can't just like click for credits. Damn it, Daily Cast. Guess because they knew they were drawing a ton with Rashida, they didn't want to overdraw that much? Yeah, maybe. But I don't think overdrawing is a problem when you're trying to work. They just broke lock for you too. Yeah, they did just break lock. But the problem is if this is a Nancy, letting it fire is disastrous because then we can't get through. Nothing like sitting at 0 cards. Oh, tell me about it. And next turn they purge. So like the best case scenario here is we do 1, 2, 3 run. And if they res an Anansi, we're fine. So I think we do 3 and run. This forces them hopefully to res something. And then we're seeing new cards. Yeah, this is fine because now we just break the Anansi and then we're 1 credit short to break anything else, but that's fine. And then they purge. And now they res an Anansi that will eventually put on Archives, hopefully. But at that point, we'll probably lose the game or win the game. This is the dream with Atman, right? And we have to break all the subroutines or we die? 3 net damage? Yeah, we have to break all of them. So we're back where we started. Oh, jack out. We can't let this fire, because if we take 3 net damage, that'll be lethal. But we could have drawn a card, but that costs 2, so we have to pay 4 for that. So that the Hunting Ground doesn't work with a Nancy? Yeah, it's totally worth knowing it doesn't. Oh, Celebrity Gift. Damn, it's so good. And they're not purging, though. They have a Palisade of Political Dealings, Project Yagi Uda, and Seamless Launch in hand. They have to jam that Yagi Uda. I'd be so surprised if they don't. Or even the Political Dealings. It's probably safer. Chat, do you think it's the Yagi Uda in here or the Political Dealings? Because we can run HQ for 1 credit. I think we do credit, run HQ. Or credit, okay, this is the blowout, right? Like you do, thinking. How many gifts do they have? They what's it called for it? They brought one back with Arkham Memories. So Project Yagi Uda makes the most sense. I think you might be right, but I think that they want to show off what their deck does. So they might just jam Political Dealings. I know we don't win on it, but the idea is that if we steal the Yagi Uda, we can put the Nancy onto Archives and then have a good chance of running R&D. I guess they do still have 13 credits. But like we need to get the Nancy off of R&D. The other option obviously is just click 3 and run this remote, which I think is fine too. But if it's a Political Dealings, we lose because we can't trash it. So I don't think we can run the remote. There's no way we can run the remote. So I think that the play is click 1, run HQ. If it's Dealings, they win. Yeah, if it's Dealings, they win. 100%. But even if we run Yagi Uda, oh yeah, you're right, because they Flower Sermon it. Ah, they Flower Sermon it. So we can't even run HQ. By hitting Flower Sermon and drawing Yagi Uda? You can run through Anansi? Not really, because if we run through Anansi, they look at the top 5 and rearrange them in any order. And then we very unlikely to hit an agenda on top of Flower Sermon. Yeah, Rongi, I don't think it works. Aurora, how's it going? I don't think it works because they can fire this, draw a card, and then they can fire Flower Sermon. So it's very unlikely that we'll find an agenda if we tank this. I think we have to do credit, run HQ, and hope that they Flower Sermon and draw like multiple agendas. Plus they deal 4? Yeah, well they'll deal some. I think we have to run HQ here. I don't see another option. Because we can't run the remote and trash Political Dealings. We just don't have those credits. Man, if we just had a bit more money, oh my god, this would be really fun. Imagine we could play like economy. Like if we pressure them properly. This would be really fun. Like we're playing chess. It's cool. But I think we have to go HQ. So this is sucker neutral, which is always nice. Seamless. Okay, they didn't use their flower sermon, which makes me think the agenda is in here. So we're gonna die anyways. We have a 50-50 on the diviner, so we don't have to break it. We have to break this for 1 credit. I'm just doing credit run the remote. We died to Nazi, that's for sure. Shit. Oh, a deck that runs Palisade. Oh no. We can't get through that. Beans. One strength, 2 few. We get close. Just need 3 creds and 3 cards to get through R&D. 2 creds for draw and something. No, but if you let this fire, we're never gonna steal an agenda. You can't let it fire. Yeah, it was in the remote. That makes sense. They didn't pull their sermon. Good game. That was a fun one. Yeah, I've seen your list online today. Looks fun. They didn't gain that many more credits than us. That's wild. Was tunneling the remote doable there? No. It wasn't. Maybe we actually consider a rejig in the deck. I don't know, because I think some of the old admin decks did. But if we had a rejig, we might have been able to do it. Because we rejig, I guess we have to pay a bit. But we started with 1 sucker token, so it's like pretty dependent on us running archives. But they can afford to res here, and we're gonna need well, we can let the diviner fire half the time, but we're gonna need 3 sucker tokens, so it just doesn't seem reasonable. The MU is a problem. Having more suckers would be good. But the list managed to deal what it wanted to do, which is put on economic pressure. That early count siphon or diversion was so wild. But yeah, getting just like forced reses would have been kind of nice. I feel like we could do something here. Yeah, that was a combo that since Flower Sermon came out, people used to do that in RP decks. Thanks for the game, eh? That was a replicating perfection thing. You do an asset spam, specifically with Jeeves. You could do really cool things with political dealings because you could install and score 4 threes with other stuff. You can draw 3 of them between Anansi Fire and Flower Sermon. Yeah, it's going to be impossible for us to steal agendas unless they like really goof it up, and I don't think they're going to do that. Or at least I think we had better odds trying the remote. I choose. All right, it's getting late. Man, any stream that I know that we're gonna play Shaper, I need to like practice because it's a nightmare. That deck, like you see the ideas of it. You also see the struggles you have with certain things. Like that was a fair matchup. I think we had a chance there. Like they weren't doing sandbox. There's no thimble rig. We had the hunting grounds, which helps a heck of a lot. We got that big up. We had the constant threat of the 4 counter conduit, which is nice. But we just ran out of money, and I think we just need a bit more money in there. Especially like passive money would be good because we're spending a lot of clicks drawing and running. Oh my god, Penny Shaver would have been nice. Not that we drew our console. Anywho, the first Shaper deck, apologies for that. We can do better for sure. This weekend we'll have the NBN video out, hopefully Sunday night or Monday. It's basically all prepped. I just need to record and edit and do all the other work. So it's still a bit of work, but I basically got everything together on the weekend and didn't have time to finalize it, to do the deed. NBN. Yo, NBN's really weird in Gateway. It is really strange. But that's, I think, largely it. We'll be back in a week, if not sooner, because of the video. A huge shout out to everyone watching, everyone reading comments and writing comments, watching the VOD, games in chat. Man, I'm falling apart on my outro here. Sorry, ready to play a game. Oh, sorry, Paul. It's like just 2 minutes to midnight, so I don't think I can tonight, but another time for sure. Thanks everyone for watching, tuning in. If you like this sort of content, if you want to leave a like on the video or subscribe or follow either on YouTube or Twitch, it really helps the channel grow. I think that's largely it. Thanks to everyone playing games again. Hopefully you're having a good enough time. Hopefully you're getting some vaccines or stuff. That's showing up for me soon. I'm really excited about that. Thanks. Great stream as usual. Thank you, Macaroni. Thanks so much for stream, Andre Bain. My pleasure. Thanks for stream. NBN's best faction. Oh man, I haven't played NBN in a while. And NBN right now in the meta is like by far the least represented. And I think the one big competitive NBN deck, or the 2 competitive NBN decks right now, one of them is like a Neurospike deck, and the other one is CTM. And even that sometimes seems rough, but we'll see. I want to play more of it for sure. NBN has some of the most flavorful cards, is my understanding of it. Only got to pop in the end, but thanks for the stream. There were some interesting games. Yo, Young, glad you can make it. Cheers. Linty as well. Thanks. Oh, my pleasure. First stream. Hey, glad you made it. Glad you also you hung out in chat and you said hi and stuff like that's really good. We have a couple people joining in, asking questions, stuff like that. If you're new to this channel and new to the chat, new to the game, it's a really nice place to be able to talk about things and ask questions. So hope that works out for you. That's it. We'll be back in maybe just 4 days. That's the hope.